I was the first one to make a comment.
I don't know if it's. Oh yeah, here. Hey, we are live.
Yay!
All right. Oh, Navi, you're horrible.
Had to.
Ben, get out of here with that childish garbage. Okay. Let me now. I gotta send this link to various websites, the various IZTDM social media pages. Okay, let's open up the standard. Okay, let me see. I'll start with Twitter because then I can just copy and paste that to everything else.
But I like being childish.
Man, I like being childish.
I'm joking. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm just gonna ignore you guys for a second while I type this. We are live streaming our thoughts.
Let's talk about everything.
Enter the Florpus. Join us or die like the horrible little children you are.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Stanley, you missed so much.
What?
You missed so much while you were typing.
Oh, jeez.
Hang on. 1 second. I can't hear you guys at all. I unplugged my headphones.
Oh. Oh, then he's really missing out on some great content right now.
I'm unplugging back in here in a second.
Let's all tell embarrassing secrets about it.
Yeah. Let's talk about Stanley.
So does that mean he can't hear us?
Wait, can you hear us? I'm scared. Because he'll look over and laugh, and then
I'll make a joke about how he missed out on so much, and he'll feel real bad.
There. I'll paste this.
I don't know. Sometimes it sounds like he actually hears what we're saying.
Load, page load.
Yeah, and he's just not reacting to it. He's just purposely tuning us
Almost
out.
there, guys. Almost there. One more.
He's violently typing on his keyboard to ignore us.
I can't hear you. I'm typing like Gurdon in the movie.
Yeah. He's violently. He's making his music.
Yeah. I actually locked my computer.
Oh no!
Good job.
Oh no!
Worth it.
Guys,
Oh no!
I just want to say.
Somehow I put the live stream on 2 tabs at once. I don't know how I did that.
No.
It's on my
good point. Yeah, let me make sure everyone can. Just a second.
I really don't know.
I just want to say this is a really epic live stream.
Yeah.
Best one ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 5 people viewing right now, but one of those is probably me.
It's just the 4 of us.
Whatever.
And then a bot.
I don't know. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it.
Yay! So we have someone. Hello, random stranger. Do not be afraid. Oh, he left.
Just us.
He left. Oh, he was scared away.
Yeah, just gone. Okay. Let's see. It'll be a while before anyone joins, but I just felt like just doing it without any dramatic fanfare. Just let's watch it. Let's begin.
Yeah.
So, 3 people now. Oh, it just drops. That's great. It's dropping lower and lower. Jacob, quickly mute your camera. It's driving people away. I'm joking.
We just get an influx of people coming in, oh, he's gone.
Jacob, you can turn it on. I was kidding around.
I'm too hideous.
Well, wait, I just got 2 more viewers now that you did that.
See?
You're not helping my self-esteem.
I'm sorry, Jacob. The facts are. Oh, they're dropping again. Okay, it's not you. It's us.
I know.
Oh no! Look who it is, Stanley. Look who it is.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
I'm back.
Seriously, look.
Hang on. I know.
I think a conspiracy was right about that.
I'm trying different ways to like.
Come on, man. This is a Zim live stream. Don't spam about a different show. This is about Invader Zim. If you keep it up, I'm blocking you, and I'm not joking. Okay?
See, it's Zim. What if humans?
Yes, Zim. That is what we are talking about today.
Yes.
Yes. Also, I think your conspiracy was right. They probably are the same person.
I don't want to talk about it right now. Because we're live and all.
Yes.
All right. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Invader Zim Enter the Florpus IZTDM cast. Talk about Enter the Florpus live stream that Stanley will find a different title for later.
Awesome.
Yes.
Actually, wait, real quick. Why don't I change my name in here? Can I do that? Or do I have? Is it under settings? Yes. No. Okay. I was gonna have you guys change your names if it was possible, so that they could be like it would be like Jacob W and then a dash and then Scooge. You know.
Oh yeah.
To explain what you did.
I think the only way to do that is to exit out and come back in.
Well, you guys want to do that? Oh.
Sure.
Okay. Cool.
I'll have to Google how the heck to spell Slunktapuxus, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry.
So I don't know if you'll be able to leave. I don't know if that'll stop the stream or not.
Wait. Yeah, I think you can change it. Oh no, you can't. Never mind.
Okay. Well, I don't want to stop the stream. So if you guys do that, I'll be the only one not doing that. But it's okay because I think pretty much anyone watching the stream knows who I am because of all the update logs I did on my channel and stuff.
All right. I guess I'll go then.
Yeah, but you'll be right back.
Yeah. And the views will probably shoot up when I leave though.
We got it this way, boys.
Alrighty.
We love to talk and use tack weapons. Nice. Wow, what was that? Oh wait. I almost forgot to. Laura Coggins, can you see things now? Question mark. You might have had to refresh the page. That's happened to me a few times. So are you just not going to add Merp after your name then?
No, I was gonna make like a stupid joke, like I was gonna be like the production assistant or something. Like I just go get the coffees and whatnot. I had no real significance to the movie.
Merp actually does. She's the one who sends Smoots on her horrible mission.
Oh yeah.
And also,
I want to
Merp is
reread
Scottish.
the script. Yeah, she is. I can't do the accent anymore.
Yeah, no.
I just I had no reason to really like keep going after that. So.
Yeah, it's a very particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, to everyone watching, please have patience. We're trying to get things set up again. Okay, here we go. All right. So, one more person coming in later, but he's not here right now. Ezra. He's the voice of Tallest Red. We have Jacob Weil here. He's the one who voiced Scooge for my fan project. We have Navi D. She voiced Schlumptapuxus for my fan project. We have DB Emily here. She voiced
Merp.
Merp. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I had someone message me.
A few extras.
And a few extras. Everyone here did extras too.
I was also the newsman guy.
Yes, that's it. True. Two. Yes.
The most important. The most important role in the movie, of course.
Yes, very important. IZTDM was canceled because I lost your audio files. That was the critical thing that wound up destroying the project.
Yes. Yes. Of course.
I was shocked that a Florpus was a Florpus hole. Yeah. I thought it would be something. I thought it would be something like that because it said enter the Florpus. I assumed it was like a dimension or something.
I
just
thought it was
from the
going
way
to be a
they said
portal.
it. Yeah, so I wasn't really caught off guard by that per se.
Heck, even the title then like showed a bit of a swirling vortex.
Yeah,
and I think that was subliminally what sort of cued me in on that. But yeah, Florpus, very unique name there.
I was like, it's either gonna be like a floating giant vortex or some kind of weird monster thing.
Yeah. So also Shamex, I might check it out later, I might not, but that's irrelevant because this is about Zim. So thank you for understanding and cooperating. Okay, anyways, but yes, we are here to talk about Enter the Florpus, and I thought we'd start off by like going around and everyone giving their basic 1 minute breakdown of what they thought about it, and then we'll go into more detail later. How's that sound?
Okay.
Cool. Let us start with DB Emily, you go first since you're in the top right.
Bad idea. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna gather my thoughts and just kind of say them. So first of all, huge nostalgia trip, and it's not just a matter of like, I mean, this is kind of the first time for me since even watching the series. This was like the first time I got to experience what it was like having new content come out to watch. So that was an interesting experience. And even old friends of mine who were involved in kind of the fan base watched it and they experienced the same thing, and I got to talk to them about it. And these were people from like 2011, so that was pretty nice. But overall, the movie, I mean, like there's definitely things that could have been improved on or fleshed out better, but for what it is, I mean, it was only an hour long. And I feel like it was more of it felt more of like a special than it did a movie, because it played out very similarly to how like an extended episode might work.
Right.
So the structure, especially towards the end, kind of became more comedic and not really like resolution-y. I mean, I enjoyed watching it all the way through. I enjoyed the art style. That was one of the things I thoroughly enjoyed, was the art style.
Sweet.
It looked more well-rounded.
Cool. All right, Navi D, what did you think? We'll go clockwise.
All right. So me, when I watched it the first time, I just absolutely loved it. It was weird. I can only describe it as like childlike wonder for it. I was just so in love. I didn't even process a lot of what I was watching. I was just too busy along for the ride, laughing and everything. And then I watched it a couple of times with different groups of friends, and I started noticing some of the flaws, but it wasn't a big deal when I watched it the first time. I just loved it so much. I really loved the joke with the two neighbors, and they're like, "Martha, look, it's an alien!" Oh, never mind. And then she just slides down the window. Things like that. I loved how
Also, real quick, I'm sorry, I'm not interrupting. I'm going to add a big spoiler warning at the title of the live stream. Because obviously, we're assuming everyone here who's watching has seen Enter the Florpus. If you care about spoilers, that's your official warning. We're going to be talking about everything. But continue, Navi. Sorry about that.
Good point. How wrong of me to assume.
Yes.
I'm so mean. Anyway, it was kind of cool seeing different groups of friends input on it. So there was one group of friends I watched it with, and they just loved everything about it, and then another one just a little more critique. It was kind of cool seeing the two sides of it, two sides of the fandom where they're just like in love with everything, and then like seeing the flaws. So yeah. I get why people are divided, but I love it anyway.
Nice. What about you, Jacob?
I mean, I only saw it like 1.5 times, like the time I saw it on Friday, and then when I just reviewing with you guys. So, as I can say, I've seen it like 1.5 times.
Right. For those who are curious, we some of us watched it beforehand to get ourselves rewatching it and stuff, and we only got mostly through. We didn't get all the way through, but that's what he's referring to. Continue, though. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, I can see where some of your guys' flaws are coming from, but I overall really enjoyed it. I mean, as with mostly, as with some other people, I didn't get into Zim until long after it was over.
Yeah.
Same
here.
I mean, I remember once like wondering like when it was like even around like in middle school when it was like it was like relatively like at least somewhat of a new thing, like wondering why somebody would even like that kind of show. So right. So but then I got into it years later. I was like, I don't know what I was missing, but so right. being in the whole mindhouse of having something new, having new content for this show is actually it's almost a surreal experience. Like having this thing that I didn't watch years ago, then come back liking it. And not having influenced by nostalgia,
right?
And then having to view it now, it was kind of an interesting experience. So,
yeah, no, that's a good point. Like, and then I guess that just leaves me because Ezra's not here yet. I personally am going to be a bit different than everyone else. I thought it was okay. I thought it was just 50-50. I liked some of the jokes. It seemed like for every joke I liked, there was like one or two that just either didn't make me laugh or actually irritated me. And I felt like the plot was a bit all over the place in terms of pacing and stuff. And so I kind of didn't really like it as much as I can name several Invader Sim episodes I would much rather watch. You know, like Backseat Drivers, The Wettening, Lice. Lice is a good one. Yes.
Most people don't bring up Lice.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's a good one. But anyway, so...
It is. Whiner.
Yeah.
Whiner, yeah.
So there is, and we'll get into the nitty gritty of what everyone liked, what everyone didn't like. We'll get into the nitty gritty later. But bottom line, I'd put it at 5 out of 10, and that is not my nostalgia talking because I didn't get into Zim till later, and that is not me. I'm going to preemptively cut everyone off. That is not me being jealous because I had a fan project that was supposed to be a big Invader Zim movie or anything. I went into it just in the mindset of, okay, this is just another Invader Zim episode, nothing more. Nothing less, and that's the result I came away with. So there we go. Cool. Okay, live stream over, guys. Ooh, that was fun.
Awesome, great.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. So I guess now we'll go around. What did everyone think? Oh wait, here. Call the theory from the trailer where Zim's stealing the whole solar system, and it's where the Florpus is. Yeah, Brandon, that's a good point. You had a very close, and we'll get around to that later because that's later on in the movie. I think we'll probably just walk through the movie in order and talk about what we liked. Okay, here we go. I got a good one. Favorite and least favorite thing from the movie, and we'll go in order again. So, starting with you, DB and Emily, what's your favorite and least favorite thing in the movie? And
Okay.
Anything at all.
So my favorite thing about the movie was the change in art style.
Mm-hmm.
However, my least favorite thing, I have two least favorite things to kind of counter the art style thing.
Go for it.
I liked the art style. However, I really miss the sort of the hand drawn. I could tell
You're cutting out there.
some mover. You could totally tell it was like, oh dang it. I don't know how much.
You said hand drawn. You like the hand drawn, and then it started cutting out.
I like the hand drawn feeling of the episodes, from a long time ago. But there were there were definitely some parts in the movie where you could tell it was very digitally done. It looked like a Flash cartoon you'd see on Disney. Besides that, the other thing I did not enjoy was some of the dumbed down humor. Like it felt very like it was catering more towards kids. Which I can see why it was something that was like coming back, and a lot of new people who are on Netflix are not going to know what Invader Zim is.
Right.
And I think they wanted to kind of retain an audience to make their money's worth like for this film. Right. But it kind of takes away from like the dark humor that, I like from the original show.
Right. And they did have dark humor elements, but it wasn't nearly as prevalent as I thought it would be. Yeah,
there was a lot of like just the RAR XD random kind of humor, and that's the humor that I can tell like probably irritated you too.
Yeah, but I'll get about it later. I'll be last. Yeah. So, Navi, go ahead. Favorite and least favorite things.
My favorite thing was again that Martha scene, just so perfectly loved it.
With the neighbors.
Martha, an alien.
Just the neighbors, honestly, in the movie, just them throughout was nice.
On the second watch through was when I picked up the neighbor guy. He had a hot dog tattoo on his shoulder.
I saw that too.
I also like some of the subtler jokes, like you see Gur's art or you see the captions on the news.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Professor Zim, an alien.
Yeah, the subtle humor. I definitely have appreciation for that. And now your least favorite stuff. Tell us.
Okay. I didn't like the speed of it, honest. I love hyperactive cartoons, like I love Milo Murphy's Law, things like that, like and Star vs. Forces of Evil, where they're just really, really fast, and that's totally fine for those shows. But I felt like even as an expectation like that was too fast at some times, and there was times where I just mistook the line or I didn't hear it. And that was like just up to the mixing and like the speed, where some of the lines could have been a little louder, and some of the things could have been a little slower. Like the fast talking too was kind of hard to understand at times.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, Jacob, your turn. Favorite thing and least favorite thing, or things. There's not really a limit, but
I was gonna go with my art style being one of my favorites myself, but I don't want to copy what DB said.
No, if it is what someone else said, go for it, man. Because
I mean, I just want to add variety. So I guess if we're talking about things that were changed, I could go with like some of the more subtle personality changes some of the characters had.
Uh-huh.
I mean, especially regarding the Membrane family, considering like they're pretty much as cruel as they were, but they're nicer about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like the Membrane family was definitely the most improved thing in my opinion, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's like where Jazz is still like a casual, like sardonic, ruling self, but she's actually, just more of she's actually a bit nicer and more pleasant to him. And it actually kind of sure it kind of like changes the tone of the show a bit, but it actually kind of works for its benefit in a way.
Right. No, yeah, that's right. You're right about that. Exactly. It improved it, but not in a way that interfered with the show's previous. It didn't clash.
No, it's like it actually kind of felt like more of an evolution, if you ask me.
Yeah, like this was in the characters all along. They just needed to sort of emphasize it more and stuff.
Yeah, like it never felt entirely. It didn't feel out of character, out of place.
No, not at all.
Okay, and and if I was to go with my least favorite thing, I don't really have that. I don't really have that much to complain about, honestly. But
okay, but you gotta pick something.
Yes. Maybe I've kind of. I know I said I wouldn't go do stuff with the sameness, but I will kind of admit that maybe there is a bit of a slight pacing issue. I mean, that's to be the thing was originally going to be like a TV special on Nickelodeon, so that might contribute to it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on Netflix, you're expecting things to go. I mean, maybe the fact that it's on Netflix is why we're experiencing that.
Yeah.
I mean, probably with like the added commercials, will give it more time to breathe and all that.
Plus, the runtime itself was shorter than a normal feature-length film.
Yes, it was only an hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I said, not counting the credits and the Netflix.
Not counting the credits.
Yeah, so that's pretty. That's like you can tell. You can tell it's like basically planned to air on TV originally. So if anything, like that'd be the biggest issue. Is like if they would if they would have known that they were gonna be airing it on Netflix, they could have given more time to expand some things. But that's probably about all I'd have to say.
Right, yeah, and real quick, before I jump in, I'm going to send a message to the group chat real quick. Jacob, can you hop on over to the private chat? I want to test something real quick to make sure that our system's working. You see that first message I sent?
Which one?
Just don't say, I mean, on the private chat in StreamYard, is it coming through is all?
Yeah, I can see, I have it pulled up.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure it was coming through. That's it. So, all right, cool. Thank you. But before now it's back to me. Okay, favorite and least favorite things. I'm going to start with my least favorite thing because I want to end on a positive note. That's how I always like doing things. So my least favorite thing, I think I'll have to say it's pretty much a combination of a few factors, but I can sum it up as I feel like it was unrestrained. Like hyperactive, chaotic. The plot was all over the place. It was crazy, and I think that's the root source of a lot of the stuff that annoyed me. Like I mentioned, jokes. I made a whole inventory list because we rewatched it recently. But there's a lot of jokes that I either annoyed me or fell flat, and I think a lot of it is rooted in the fact that the pacing. I feel like the pacing should have been slowed down a bit. So that was the thing that really made it 5 out of 10 for me. That really brought down the that overall. Favorite things, though. There are two things that are tied for favorite in my opinion. And the number one is the animation. Not the style, though. I didn't like the style as much as the original cartoon show or even the pilot. I would have, if they were going to change it, I would have preferred something closer to the pilot because that one was more gritty and unnerving. But still, the style I didn't like, but not enough to count it as a negative, if that makes sense. Like, it's just a preference thing, and the style didn't bother me enough for me to drop it down at all in terms of how I viewed the movie. But the animation, I was going to say the animation. I think they simplified the style specifically so they could have better movement, more fluid, dynamic animation stuff.
Not to mention the colors.
Now the colors were pretty cool.
Yeah.
When I was watching the trailer, the colors popped. They were really bright and vibrant, and and it really disturbed me because I thought, oh, gross. It's
Oh,
vibrant.
no.
It's vibrant. It's nice to look at. That worries me. Did they make it generic and like, the character's fingers are rounded? Is this? It feels like Gravity Falls a little bit. What the heck's going on? This is Zim, But actually, it turned out great. So I love the animation. And then the other thing I absolutely liked was hands down Gaz. Gaz's character in this movie,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Normally, in any other animated thing, in any other Zim animation thing, even in the comics, they didn't quite make it there yet. But Gaz was sort of this cynical, one-note cardboard cutout of a character who's just, Dib will pay. Laugh, kids. That's funny, right? Dib will pay. Isn't that hilarious? But no, in this movie, she actually had depth. She felt like a real character. She was mean, but she was mean in a way that made sense, if that makes sense.
And she was balanced.
She felt more like an actual sister.
She didn't take it too far with being mean.
Right, and she when Zim actually posed a threat, she jumped right in. She switched right to, okay, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
Like she didn't just stick with her whole, I'm Gaz and you will pay, Dib. I play the games. Is this,
and they played into like the whole thing where she was like, where it's like she believes that Zim wasn't a threat, but when she realizes that, oh crap, he actually now is a threat, she steps into action.
Right, and I think she was more competent than Dib.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been established already.
Well, yeah, for sure, right? Let's see what some of the comments are saying. I was most confused. Yeah, Laura, I'm glad you mentioned that. When Professor Membrane said, I'm always proud of you, it felt hollow because he never acted or did anything to really back that up, It just felt sort of like a generic feel-good thing, if that makes any sense. But I'm glad you pointed that out. That was a little nitpick I had. The line itself I was fine with. I just wish there was more to back it up. Let me see. And also called theory from the trailers is Minimoose and the peace bracelets being a key to enter the Florpus and saving the Earth. Good. You are a very smart person. You are smarter than Professor Membrane. And you deserve all the cookies for guessing that. Good job. And then one more comment right here. Gaz definitely got the screen time she deserved. I think she should have gotten more time in the series. Yeah, more development. I would not want more screen time with the original Gaz. I would want more screen time with this Gaz.
Yes.
Like she had a whole episode dedicated to her with Gaz Taster of Pork, and that's literally my least favorite episode in the series. But if she was more like this and that, I would have probably been fine with it. Yeah, the movie near the end just goes insane. It does. Now, I did love the art style thing, though. I thought that was really cool, the visuals and stuff when they were switching into different.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done more with that,
There are at least like 10 or 15 different visual styles near the end. They're just like, and most of them even last for like less than 3 seconds.
What I thought was going to happen? I was talking about this with you guys earlier. I thought what they were going to do is that the Earth would have been teleported more close to the beginning when I found out that was what Zim was going to do and stuff, and that happened. I was like, oh, I went ahead and paused it. I'm like, oh, we're already almost halfway through, or 2/3 of the way through. And I'm like, no, it was halfway through. I'm like, that's not good. Like, I wish they would have had the Earth teleport more close to the end of the first act. That way, the whole second act, I thought they were going to, here's what I thought was going to happen. Zim teleports the Earth into where the Massive is coming. The Massive is just going to come by, blow up Earth without even giving it a second thought and just keep going. And I thought the Florpus would open up and Dib and Gaz would hop into Tack's ship and go into there to find an alternate reality where they could stop Zim. I thought that was what the whole thing was. But like this version of Earth would just be blown up by the Massive, and the Massive wouldn't even know it was Earth that it blew up. It was just like a small insignificant dot teleported in their way, and they're just like, boom, okay, well, that's over. And then the rest of the movie would be them exploring alternate dimensions, like one where Membrane believes Dib, or one where Dib is invading Urk, or one where Zim's the tallest. All these different wacky scenarios would have been cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Famous Hector mentioned this earlier. I was going to comment on that. What do you guys think of the scenes with the tallists?
It didn't feel like them.
Yeah.
At least in the first scene that they appeared, it didn't feel like them. It felt like at least like the writing in that scene, I didn't enjoy. It felt very like expository, I guess.
Yeah, and I knew why they were doing that, but I felt like they could have done it a little better. What do you think?
I see that I don't know, they changed Red's characters like you were mentioning earlier, like, and it was really apparent when I watched it the second and third time there, because it's like, well, a lot of the lines he's saying, even the delivery sounds like Purple.
Yeah, I could get that. Like, it seemed like they merged the personalities a little bit, but I don't want to influence anyone else. So, Jacob, what do you have to say about what do you think about the tallest seats?
No, I mean, I really didn't notice too much different. I mean, other than Red being slightly less competent.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, they seem pretty much the same to me.
Yeah, I didn't like the tallest characterization. I wish Red was more competent, or at least more different than Purple. He could still be incompetent, but he should be incompetent in his own way. Like when they were talking about going in a straight line, and they were both acting like children about it.
Yeah,
that seems more like a Purple thing than a Red thing. I thought Red would be more like. I thought Red would have an excuse to not go around the whole disaster area. I thought Red would be like, no, we're the Urkin Empire. We could just blow everything up. Who cares? Whereas Purple would be like, and it's so cool to go in a straight line. I thought that would have been more interesting. I know they had.
That sounds about right.
They had to have a reason for the Massive to just go in a straight line. I know they had to have a reason for it, but I felt like they could have been more in character about it.
Yeah.
And they gave them thumbs. That's heresy.
Honestly, I wish they could have had more like significant screen time.
Yeah, I
wanted to give them an actual job or something to do,
or at least more of a showing more. Maybe they're like their conquest somehow winds up tied into Zim's disaster or like I said, if they were going to do the alternate reality exploration, they definitely could have jumped into various realities.
They could have made like a subplot. There was definitely like potential for that to kind of like have the stories like merge, right? You have subplot, but there's really like nothing there. It was just kind of there just for something to like, I guess, switch scenes to.
Yeah,
actually have something that's going on separate to Earth.
I know they had a lot to cram in there, but I feel like if they had that extra 30 minutes to make it an hour and 30-minute movie, and if they cut out stuff like Gur's song that really did nothing to anything, cut that out, and like a few other little things like that to make room for more plot, they could have fit the tallest in there more. Maybe not Tak, but they could have had more of the tallest and maybe more of the Tak's ship being, sarcastic and stuff. Oh, whoa, what did I do? Oh, I accidentally minimized everything. Okay, I thought I closed the stream. I was about to freak out. Someone commented just now that, why did the tallest even destroy planets instead of conquering? Hey, because that opening shot was literally the coolest thing in the movie where we first opened on the Urkin Armada, and they were just plowing through everything.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Like, these are the bad guys you should be worried about, not Zim. Yeah, even the Earth was close to the Urkin Armada. Like I said, I thought they were just going to mow through the Earth without even realizing it.
If you think about it, they were easily destroying them with like that large beam. They could have easily done that to the Earth.
Right. Actually, I thought when Tak's ship crashed, when Membrane crashed on Earth in the climax of the movie, when he crashed and saved Dib from the robots, I didn't think that was Membrane at first. I thought that was the opening shot from the Armada. I'm like, oh, everyone is dead now. You guys are all done for now because the Armada has arrived. But also, someone commented that I love Dib's impression of Membrane.
Yeah.
Apparently, his dad is like German.
I
am proud of you, Dib.
That was so great.
And then in when he's like having the vision of his dad like clapping the audience and it replays the line again.
Yeah, even really Dib's like, is there just something wrong with Dib's ears? Is that how he actually hears his dad?
One wonders how he hears Zim if that's the case.
Oh no.
He hears Zim like this. I am Zim. I am the worst threat you could ever imagine.
Oh no.
You will die, Dib. Instead of like this, huh? I'm Zim. It's shrill, yeah.
Yeah.
Fetch me a lozenge.
Yes. Fetch me a lozenge. That was great. I love. Okay, can I just say this? This is the cynical side of me, but I love the cynical part of Invader Zim. So like, I lived for those moments in this movie where like Zim and Dib really didn't have hardly any sympathy for each other at all. Like, yeah, you had Dib feeling bad for him a little bit, but that was about it. and it would have felt out of character for it to go any further than that.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite part was when Dib. It looked like Dib died. Zim thought Dib died because of all the robots and stuff, and Zim's like, well, he's dead.
Yes.
That totally crushes any Satter or Zim and Dib friendship stuff. It crushes it completely, and I love
Which is great. Yeah. It's good.
Like, oh well, he's dead. It's like, oh well, he's dead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
I was like, oh well, he's dead now.
It's the exact same reaction he had from Bad Rubber Piggy.
Yep.
Like,
Back to my filthy evil, I guess.
it's like, yeah, it's like, and it's also like he's the only one who can kill Dib at that point. Like, it's like no one can kill Dib but me.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like Mopiness of Doom. I personally felt like it was out of character for them.
That was the one. That was like
that was a controversial take. That was a controversial take of me to say. Everyone got real quiet.
Well, I was trying to think. That was the unfinished episode, wasn't it?
Soapy Waffles was animating it. I love that stuff, though. That's not a knock on Soapy Waffles. Everyone who's watching, that's not a knock on Soapy Waffles. I just don't like Mopiness of Doom as an episode, but their work is great. Their work is great. Okay, yeah, that's uncomfortable. Okay.
I mean, like I haven't read the script in so long, I can't really give my take on it. But okay. I remember it. It's just not a very memorable episode.
Exactly, and we're here to talk about Enter the Florpus. Dang it!
Yeah.
Also, I'm ticked off that the whole trial aspect of it was just in Zim's head. I was hoping that there actually would be a scene where Zim's put on trial, like because the trial is literally my favorite unfinished episode.
Yes, me too.
If any of you had read my script for IZTDM, I took the trial and just blew it up to be like a series finale, basically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I love that so much because you get into the nitty gritty of Urkin society, and but it's still goofy. All the way down, it's still just goofy, but it's still kind of dark too.
It's not just goofy; it's stupid.
It's how dare you be late? You are now banned. You can watch the replay; it's fine. We're just talking about our thoughts and stuff. Enter the Florpus. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen Enter the Florpus, for anyone who's just joined or any new people, if you have not seen Enter the Florpus, we are going to be talking about spoilers. In fact, we already have. So just be warned. If you don't care about spoilers, great, stick around. But there's your warning.
And I said, just remember, it's not just goofy; it's also stupid.
Yes.
I like Laura. I think Laura and I are on the same wavelength. Just pointed out. Dib looking like an adult in the opening. My name is Dib Membrane. I'm
12 years old. Oh, every YouTube commenter.
I love the anime opening with Dib and everything. That was so awesome and hilarious. It was hilarious. It was as hilarious as it was awesome.
Can I make a comment about when that showed? So I was with my friends who were also Invader Zim fans, but they didn't really know that this movie was a thing until very recently. They also didn't really read any of the comics either. So I knew that the art style for this movie was going to be kind of based on the comic. And so I warned them in advance. I'm like, hey, just so you know, the art style might be a little different because they based it on the comic. And when they watched it, the first opening sequence was anime. And they just both looked at me, and I'm like, "This isn't it, I swear."
I could roll with that style because it would be if they changed it and it was like that the whole movie. I'd be uncomfortable at first, but then if they committed to it, I could get behind it because at least the mouth movements match, unlike most anime.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I'm sorry. That's literally one of the only things turning me off from anime, apart from how weird the plots get, is just the mouth flaps. That's literally one of the only things that
I don't like how over dramatic anime is. Anyway,
but it would work for Zim.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, that was awesome. And in the end, I loved how creepy the Robo parents looked.
Yeah, their mouths moved.
They did.
Yeah, their mouths moved in this movie when they.
Yeah. But I mean, their creepiness in the opening, when it showed Dib, how Dib saw the world and stuff.
Welcome home, son.
Welcome home, son.
I have diarrhea.
Ew. I liked how creepy and disturbing everything about Zim and his technology. They amped up the creepiness a little bit, and I liked it. Even just going down into his base.
Even his computer was a lot creepier.
Really?
Like the
Yeah,
whole,
with, his,
like,
with that
the whole
British
scene, like,
accent.
No, what are you saying?
what I'm saying is like the whole like the one scene where he's like, well, not necessarily creepy, but like more epic in scale, like where he's going down, like he like appears in front of that big glowing light.
Yes. No, I actually like that a lot. Like everything. I was watching this with my brother the first time I watched it. I was with my brother. Excuse me. And I leaned over to him. I'm like, at what point does Zim's base just cover the entire underground surface of Earth without him realizing it? Yeah, so like, this is so funny. Overall, I like the funny parts were really funny, but the unfunny parts for me were just kind of lame. What else do we want to talk about? Okay, so we did the anime opening thing.
We didn't talk about Minnie Moose and the anime
Minnie
opening.
Moose.
It was my favorite part of the anime opening. I'm just like,
well, you're
yes.
Canadian.
So.
I wonder where Ezra is. Hang on, let me check my Facebook.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock now.
Dude, did he forget, or did he think we moved it on to by a few months?
I don't know.
Oh, look at a surprise visit from Tallest Red himself. Just
Guest of honor.
Brandon Heaton's coming out with the hot takes. The suitcase chase was awesome because, like, Dib lands. He thinks his dad's dead. Dib lands. He thinks his dad's dead. His sister is who knows where. The Urkins are winning. He comes out of the crater and he is supremely ticked off at Zim.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Zim grabs Gur runs away scared first, and then Zim looks at Dib and he's holding menus. And then I loved how Zim just turned around and ran because of how ticked off Zim.
Give me the moose.
Dib is not having it anymore, and I loved it.
Yeah.
He likes moose jealousy, Dib.
I like that
Moose
Dib. Yeah, go ahead, son. What were you saying?
I don't know.
Avi, are you still there?
What?
You said something and I interrupted. I said, go ahead.
Oh,
Okay, never mind. Leprechaun Cat was kind of funny. I was going to say, Jacob, where'd you go?
I was stretching.
I'm like, wait a minute. What? Am I going to be alone here?
I was stretching. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. We're going to start with you this time, Jacob, and work our way counterclockwise. What did you think of Climbrain?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem like, he didn't really honestly bother me too much. I mean, I didn't really have a problem with him too much. I mean, I didn't think he was like the best part of the movie or anything, best part of the show or anything, but I mean, for the minimal part that they used him, and I thought he worked out okay.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Navi?
Oh, it was the best part of the movie. No, I'm totally kidding. I just wanted to say that. Anyway, I would have liked him better if he was voiced by Justin Roiland. I don't know why. Just me. And I don't know. I liked him as an obstacle, not as a character. If that makes sense.
So, like, would you have been more accepting if he had like less of a role in the plot? If they like reduced the amount of screen time he had?
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought it was weird how he was still there at the end. I was like, and then Tib comments like, "What are we doing with him? Is he just part of our family now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my same question, Tib."
I didn't like that. I really didn't like that where he was still there. DB Emily, what do you have to say? Oh, you're muted. Oh, you muted your mic. Okay.
Skip.
I will say something until she returns. I didn't like Climbrain at all. I would have much preferred it if he was just like a one-off joke when Zim was in his base, and then maybe he comes back at the end, still thinking he's Dib's dad. That would have been fun. If he was a one-off joke at the start, and then he came back at the end as an obstacle, like you were saying. But the amount of screen time he got, he irritated me every scene he was in, and I didn't like him at all. And I know he's supposed to be annoying, but I don't think he was annoying in the way they wanted him to be. Maybe they actually wanted audience members to just roll their eyes and hope that the movie was over with, or that the scene was over with already. But I didn't like it. Who knows? I think Climbrain is just sort of there now, like an unwanted guest. Like an unwanted house guest sort of person who's just showed up one day. I despise him.
He is the basement monster now for the Membrane household.
I will say he probably, I don't know. I don't want to get too picky or technical, but I would say I can safely say if he wasn't there, the movie might have shot up at least 1 point for me. But there we go. That's my opinion. And DB Emily, you are not back yet. Please respond.
I love her comment. Anybody do a good Emily impression?
Hi, I'm Emily, and Slim Brain was bad, just like Stanley said.
I would try, but I don't want to do that.
No, yeah, no. Hello,
I don't-
Almighty Police
I can't. I mean, I can do a high pitched voice, but I'm afraid I'd make her mad.
Yeah. Navi's muted now. Oh no, this is bad. We're losing people left and right.
Oh no.
Mighty Tall Sneezo, how's it going? We were just here talking about spoilers. Ah, you're back.
Hi,
Tell
sorry.
us what you think of Climbrain
Okay,
now.
Climbrain.
World needs to
Okay.
know.
Okay. So, I didn't absolutely hate him. He was more of just like a plot device, I guess. But he wasn't like entirely annoying, except for like the really obvious like, oh, don't get him mad. Don't like not call him dad because he'll go crazy. Like
Go crazy.
yeah.
Didn't like that.
So I didn't really like that aspect, but I did like some of his lines. Just the goofy like, "Do you love him? I love him." Like just little things like that kind of made me laugh. At the end, the only reason I like the fact that the membranes adopted him was just because it was expected. Like that's what you expect at the end of a movie is to like adopt the random thing that's just left over. And so I felt like they did that not because it was like good writing, but because that's what you'd get at the end of a typical movie is like, ew, we're stuck with that thing now. So it didn't bother me that much, but it would have been funny if they kind of brought him on at the beginning as like a first act thing, and then he came as an obstacle at the end, like you guys were saying, and then he just gets killed. Like he just
Killed, blown up, vanishes, something.
like he tries to like come across as like this, like, oh, now what's next for me? He just dies. Like,
or maybe he just like, I don't know what to do now, and then just,
Yeah.
like, grabs a suitcase and just walks
Have
off.
some pudding. Have some pudding.
Yeah,
Put him
or
on a
maybe
pudding farm.
maybe they could do like a shout out. Maybe they could have done like a shout out to the Return of Keith episode where they get him so happy he blows up, and that explosion causes Mini Moose to go flying towards the real Professor
Yeah.
Membrane.
Yeah.
Oh no! They take him on a field trip to the pudding factory and they kind of leave him there.
Yes.
He doesn't notice.
So he can learn to make good pudding.
Yeah.
And they replace
He will
themselves
never
with
learn.
pudding stunt doubles.
he becomes like the new like school lunch lady.
Yeah.
Oh no! Now I'm thinking Clemburn in a dress. No.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what was that hump on his back? Like, did you guys notice he had
Yeah, I was
on his
wondering
back?
if that was just like a very like a homemade house, like a homemade Irken pack that Zim just
Yeah.
cobbled together because that's the only way he knows how to bring life into something.
Yeah. Oh, true.
And also, everyone in the chat is pressing F to pay respect to Lawrence.
Recipe.
And Maria. Don't forget Maria.
I
Plus,
love
there's
that joke so
Spencer
much.
and Yvonne.
Maria
Don't mention Robot Brothers and Maria.
and Maria. Yeah.
Doesn't he call his computer something too? It's like Fabios or something.
Did he
He calls his computer like by name.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah,
didn't
I had
know-
to play it back a few times because I didn't know if he was saying a name or if he was yelling something else.
No,
but
no,
I
oh,
think
no,
he
no,
was-
no. He said Vominos. He said
Is that
Vominos.
what he said? I thought he was calling his computer by name. I'm
No,
like, what?
Vominos is Spanish for hurry up.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that. It didn't
Oh,
sound
okay.
like that though.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, like I was like,
Again,
What?
another example of kind of the lines just not coming
Oh, I got
across
a
the way I
funny
think they were meant to.
Yeah. What?
I got a
Everyone
funny
talked at
example of
once.
lines just not working out for
Okay.
me, like mistaking it. All right, so when they're like, I launched a pug into space, that little bit,
Uh-huh.
I literally thought I launched a pig into space. I thought he said pig, I swear. And when
Yeah,
Sim said
Zim
pig, I
calls
just
it a
kinda-
pig. No, he
Yeah.
does.
Zim calls it
Zim
I'm like,
calls it a
okay,
pig.
welcome to the pig. And then I didn't realize it was a pug until later on when Stanley mentioned it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but I also saw the dog later on when he like the second time he launches it. I'm like, wait, that's not a pig.
like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss you.
That might be my favorite joke in the whole thing was the pug joke both times.
Yeah.
Like when it returned, the follow-up bit was perfect because Gur wastes no time in grabbing it again, eating it, and then launching it again. There was like no hesitation there.
And I like how they drive past it in like tack ship. I think. There's,
Yeah.
Like, pause. That's the movie. There's the pug
So
again.
remember,
It's just
if you really want to, if you really want to show love to your pets, launch them into space.
Of course.
Yes.
Every time they say Lawrence in the movie, I always have to say it like with Sim.
I keep thinking of Lawrence of Arabia.
I think
I haven't even seen that movie. That's what I.
I'm actually reminded of something else.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's this game called Ratchet and Clank. I don't know if you've heard of those games.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, like one of the characters, like he's a robot. His name is Dr. Nefarious. He's not voiced by Richard Horvitz, but he actually kind of reminds me of him in a way. It's like, and his butler's name is Lawrence. And so, like, whenever he gets angry, he shouts like Lawrence.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
So it kind of reminded me of that.
Nice. Well, that was nice. And let me see. I have a whole. Let me see. I pull up my notepad. I think I had one somewhere.
That hurt my throat.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
I guess not. Yeah. What am I saying?
Yeah,
I'm glad your throat got hurt.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, you had me scream a scooch, so it's kind of in the territory.
Yes.
Do you need a soothing lozenge?
Soothing
lozenge. Funnily enough, doing Zim doesn't hurt my voice as trying to chase Zim doesn't hurt my voice as much.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna address this because I'm gonna address this. And Brandon Heaton brings up a good point. He says the tallest used the control brains on Zim when Zim was having his nightmare or whatever. That is not canon because it was Zim's nightmare. So, and the only reason I bring it up is because I just know the fandom is going to be like, see, proof the tallest are in charge of the control brains, but you can't trust any of that because it's Zim. It's Zim's delusion.
Yeah.
I should have been checking the private chat this whole time. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll leave that up so that you guys can explain why you have to suddenly mute your mics and stuff. Okay, cool. Anyways, so yes. Yeah, I don't want the fandom to latch onto that as if it's canon because you can't trust anything Zim thinks of when he's like fantasizing or imagining something because it's Zim.
It's interesting they finally got to see the master control brains.
Well, you got to see control brains, not the master control brain, because I don't think that's actually a canon concept.
Oh man, see the control brains. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I was used to IZTDM and all that, and
yes, my work is infiltrating your mind.
Yes, I mean I worked on it for several years.
Yeah, me too.
Where was Smoots? I didn't see her anywhere.
Yeah, that's the best character.
Speaking of what's that? Where was I?
Yeah, where was Scrooge, huh? Okay, yeah. No,
this movie stinks. I wasn't in it anywhere.
I think I saw one person randomly comment somewhere that the thing they hated the most and that it really bothered them and made them not like the movie as much was because Tack wasn't in it. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, any one character not being included, that's not enough for me to dislike a movie. It's about what they do with the characters they have.
And I will admit, I was hoping Tack was in the movie, and there was one reason why. It was mostly because I'd predicted previously in the series, like after Dib got her ship, they were eventually going to bring Tack back as like the kind of thing, because like, you know, Dib said early on in the series, like the ship won't allow me to fix it. So I was thinking eventually in the series they were going to bring Tack back, or they had planned to, and you know, have her. Yeah, and do all that. And so I thought maybe in this film, because they had introduced Tack's ship, they were going to bring her back in this film to play at least some small role.
Right.
But it was a little disappointing they didn't have it, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, Tack, if Tack came back in any prominent way, I would want them to change her in a bit like how they changed Gaz's personality, because Tack, I don't know, there's something about Tack that just made it not fun to watch her, for me anyways. And it was like how she inflected things. Like
you could sympathize with her, but it was hard to really like feel bad whenever she did get her revenge. Like you didn't feel any kind of sadness for her. It was like, you know, like, yeah, Zim screwed you over, but like at the same time, You're the bad guy, so we have to dislike you.
Yeah, well, Zim screwed over pretty much everybody.
No, I'm okay with her as far as her role goes, as far as hating her, liking her, sympathy, no sympathy.
Mhm.
That I don't care about. But it's her voice inflections that really get
Really?
under my skin. Yes, it's like
Hmm.
Zim, I was just a dinner like you, and I'm going to talk like this now. And it's like,
Would it
okay,
scare you if I told you I had a substitute teacher that talked like that? It was terrifying. Her name was Miss Nagel.
really.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I can't stand that. It's not fun to watch.
No,
Like
especially in class.
like even the characters that you're not supposed to like, they're even characters you're supposed to find despicable, like
Yeah.
Zim, for example. He's despicable, but he's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I liked how the tallest thought Zim was dead too, but I didn't like how they sort of forgot his name, because I never liked that joke even in the comics, because these are the same characters that threw a guy out the airlock for forgetting who Zim was.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, they forgot about that.
I'm like, Zim is like the single biggest war criminal the Urkin Empire has ever seen. Like, he's like every horrible dictator we've ever experienced times 11 because of all the damage he's done to the Urkin Empire, and we're just going to act like we forgot him.
And that's why I don't like the opening joke from the tallest.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like out of nowhere, they're just like, oh, remember that one time, like from 2 years ago, we somehow don't remember. And I'm assuming this is supposed to be like a 2-year span between the series and this or whatever, but like they just randomly don't remember, but then all of a sudden remember like a minute before they get a call from him. It's just like, I get what they were trying to do with the joke, but it didn't. It just wasn't like the tallest, you know.
Well, to be fair, they have been known to punish people for doing some of the exact same things they do. So
True.
Yeah. True. Yeah. True.
I don't think that justifies it. I think they really messed up their personalities, and I'm gonna stick with that. I'm a stubborn boy, and I'm sticking with it.
I mean, I give you guys a comment from it. I'm just saying, to be fair, this is the tallest we're talking about. I mean, they punish people for doing some things they do themselves.
The whole straight line thing didn't make sense to me.
I
thought it was funny.
they do a straight line away from Earth, honestly. When they were doing the zoom out, zoom out, I thought that when they you know, there's Zim, like they're like, hey, you know, we got to get rid of him now. I thought they were gonna go, okay, well, we're going this way, and now we're gonna get Zim to go the opposite way, because then we will never have to encounter him.
I don't think also, someone just commented in the chat. They think that they don't like how the tallest are probably dead, but I don't think they're dead. Because
I mean, they are on fire.
Right now it just seems like they're suffering an eternal damnation.
Yeah, I think the Massive's on fire because they went into the Florpus and like everything's malfunctioning and burning, but I think they're gonna pop out the other end. Like, there's nothing that says it's permanent.
Yeah, like they're just suffering right now. They're not dying, just suffering.
They've experienced Zim, so this is nothing.
Well, this is exactly what the Zim purgatory theory was. You see, in my creepypasta that I wrote.
Oh, hey, hold that thought. Let me just. There we go. Okay. Anyways.
Hey, look, I'm over here now.
Yes, you have shit. Hey, wait, let's get you back to where you belong.
Yeah, know your place.
Wait a minute. Now I'm up here.
Hang on.
There Yay.
What's at the end of the Florpus? I don't think there's anything. I think the way they explained it, it just seems like it just pops you out somewhere else in the universe at some point.
It kind of feels like that episode of SpongeBob where they're going through the perfume department, and they go through this live-action perfume department, and they come out the other side.
I got that vibe of it. Now, for the record, there's nothing in the show that like sets that in stone for me. That's just the vibe I get from it. That like it's like a wormhole, and it's gonna pop them out somewhere else.
Yeah.
After they go through some horrible, horrible suffering.
Yeah, that's why it made me think of the SpongeBob perfume department.
Although in all honesty, it is kind of nice to see them suffer for once.
Yes.
For once.
Yeah.
Well, suffer again. It's always nice to see them. It's always nice to see. Let me rephrase that. It's always nice to see them suffer.
Well,
I mean, they
really
almost crashed into the
suffer,
sun that time in Backseat Drivers.
Yeah, well, honestly, any of the characters suffering brings me joy. It's funny. no matter who it is. Like even
I mean,
Zim. There's gonna be people in the fandom being like, I cried when Zim was so depressed and stuff. I'm over here like that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. What?
Like, I mean, other shows would be like, oh, they're in pain, that's sad, or they're in pain, that's too much. No, it's like, yeah, it's like, yep, they deserve it.
I think that's why I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I love Silver Bites' comment. They've crashed into a star before. This is probably Casual Tuesday.
Yeah, right. It's not worse.
Yeah. Backseat drivers took them to a sun.
Yeah.
I also
love the Casual Tuesday comment.
Yes. What was I gonna say? I thought I was gonna mention something about the. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I think the reason that Jonan and them can get away with like torturing these characters so much is because the characters aren't very deep, and so you feel like you're watching sock puppets fight each other. You know, you feel like Zim has about much personality as this thing right here. Which, by the way, Ezra made for me, so I got to shout out him. Thank you, Ezra, for making this. Please join our live stream. We would love your input. But I feel like that's why they can get away with it. You don't feel sympathy for them because none of them feel like real characters. So it's okay to just beat him up and you feel fine. Although I did like the character development with the Membrane family. I loved how they changed them a bit, just enough so they actually have a family dynamic now, rather than just a group of people who happen to live in the same location.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, Membrane even called his kids his roommates, or not Membrane, but like the guy that comes over to him, the assistant, so it's just like, you're his roommates, right?
Yeah, you mean his children? You live with the professor, right? Yeah, I like the Membrane family dynamic much better in this than in the original show, and I can safely say that for sure.
But I still love the jokes where Membrane never recognizes Tib. Like even that poster in the movie, it's just like thank you for being a fan. It's probably Dib went to like a convention or something. Remember, he's like, Dad, an alien! You have to believe me. And he's like, oh sure, little boy.
Yeah, I do like the idea of whenever Membrane's in like convention or public appearance mode, he just forgets about his children.
Yeah, like they just don't exist.
Just like, you sound like my poor insane son.
Here you go. Hope you don't turn out like him. Here's sign this. Bye bye.
It's like, oh wait, you are my poor insane son.
What am I doing with my life?
It's a good thing I exist.
Before the comics, general thoughts from my friends and I were, wow, what a dad. And I like that Membrane is still neglectful in Into the Florpus, and they didn't lose that aspect of it. He's still clearly not the best dad in the world.
They're at least closer.
Like Membrane cares more, clearly, but he's still just as absent-minded as ever when it comes to raising them.
Like they basically pointed out, and like even as the comics goes, like they're closer family, but that makes the cruelty even funnier. The eventual cruelty even all the more funnier.
Exactly. Jonah, I remember that, like Jonah mentioning that exact thing in an interview. I remember that.
Yeah. So.
I did the one thing that was my biggest worry. Okay, my biggest worry when I was going into it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about everyone's biggest fears for this movie before it actually arrived. So my biggest worry was that. Hang on. Okay, yeah, my biggest worry was that like they would add and introduce character development and actually make the characters change and like have Zim and Dib put aside their differences, or have have someone sympathize with someone else and Dib fully realize where Zim's coming from and they become friends or something. I didn't want it to be like a story of how Zim and Dib put aside their differences or something. I was worried that they would go in that direction, not to the point of full on Zatter, because that's just anathema to the show completely. But like to the point of them being friends, that was my biggest fear.
All right.
What about you, Navi? Sorry.
It's funny because I was like really excited for the movie, and then you were like just telling me about all your fears, and I'm just like, oh no, what if his fears are like true?
So your biggest fear was that I would be worried that my fears would come true.
Yeah, pretty much. Like my biggest fear is like Stanley would be right. Just this is gonna be the worst movie ever. I'm like, oh no. And I mean, before I like turned on Netflix and all the weird stuff was happening where it was delaying me, I'm like, I wonder if this is all a sign. Like I had my Chromecast updated and everything. I had to change spots because the light was too bright reflecting my TV, and I'm just like, This is all a sign. I shouldn't watch this movie. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Scoot. Scoot. Go ahead, Jacob.
Well, for one, I was afraid that I was gonna be in this movie, but apparently I was not in this movie.
Well, yeah. Well, that way you're not tortured anymore.
Well, that is true. I mean, it was good to get away from being Zim's torture monkey.
I like monkeys.
Sorry, I'm just replying to the chat. Hang on.
All right.
Yeah, and yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I guess I could say my biggest fear in total was that, like, I mean,
Okay.
sorry. Maybe they're like they would based on recent developments, stuff like that, they'd probably stray too far away from the original source. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably like an unfounded fear, but it wouldn't feel like feel like Zim anymore. I mean, it still feels like Zim to me. It's a slightly lighter Zim, but it still feels like Zim nonetheless. But I guess that's probably my biggest fear, that it wouldn't, capture the tone. I mean, since the show, ended, over 15 years ago. Well, over
Right.
over like 15 to 17 years ago. So,
Yeah. Okay. And there's a good point. I think that's you summed up my fears better than I did, because basically everything I was worried about came from the thought of Jonan himself having grown and changed too much, and like all the cast and crew growing and changing too much. And then their idea of what's good has changed dramatically from the show, to the point where, yes, I had no doubt they would execute it exactly as they saw fit. And I think they did. But I was worried, and I was worried their idea of what's good would just shift too much.
Yeah, but I mean, even some of the more mixed opinions I've seen on this movie, even they've said that pretty much does feel like Zim again.
Yeah, I would say. I mean,
albeit a lighter version of Zim, like a somewhat lighter version, but it still feels like the same show. Obviously with a different art style, but tone-wise and even humor-wise, a lot of it still remains pretty much the same.
A lot of it does, and that's a good point, because there were episodes I loved, and then there were episodes I hated, and the episodes I hated had a lot of that lull random humor that showed up in this, like the goofy humor, I guess you could call it, like the more goofy humor rather than the more cynical humor. I prefer the more cynical humor a lot. I prefer that a lot more, and I feel like the timing and stuff felt like more like the timing and pacing and plot of like the second season rather than the first season. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but I watched this show. I've watched the show all the way through a few times, and I feel like the first season has writing I like better, but the second season has art style I like better, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, DB Emily, we were just talking what everyone's biggest fears are for the show.
For the movie?
What were your biggest fears before the movie was released? What were your biggest fears about what might happen?
I honestly thought, that's tough, because I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it was going to be game changing and change the canon too much. Like, what I thought was going to happen was they were going to introduce almost like a finale-esque type thing, which isn't really what I wanted, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't want it to be like a big series finale type thing. I kind of just wanted it to be like an enjoyable movie, based on the series. And I'm glad they didn't really do that. Like, they did something big, but
right.
It still felt like kind of the writing they would use for an episode.
Yeah.
Which has its ups and downs, I think. Like, obviously, they didn't make it too over the top and climactic towards the end, but I'm glad they didn't make it a thing where it was one of the episode ideas that kind of went around for a while was Zim learns to accept the earth, and he learns that it's not okay to destroy.
I got something to tell you about that one.
Dib reunites with his family, and they live a great life together. And the tallest, they're nice to Zim now, and Zim becomes the tallest. They make the Urkin Armada nice and friendly people to everyone in the universe. I didn't want anything like that.
Yeah. I think that was just a joke, though.
I know.
Anyone wondering, I can confirm that's a joke, because Jonan Vasquez, when he said the whole Zim learning to love the earth and he becomes a representative for the earth, like a lawyer, Jonah actually cited Daredevil as his inspiration, the old Daredevil movie as his inspiration for that. The thing is, the Daredevil movie came out after Invader Zim was canceled. So that was very clearly a joke, because he couldn't be inspired by something that hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, it's like, clearly, I mean, he's even kind of mentioned, like, Zim would never be like that at all.
No,
Oh,
of
no.
course not.
Yeah, and I remember
problem-
like seeing that theory and like it made no sense to me. But like obviously, people who read everything, people who read things off the internet, they're gonna believe anything. And so there was this
Yeah,
portion of the community that thought it was a real episode,
Yes,
and I'm like, wait, what?
You pretty much have to take everything, literally almost everything Jonan says with a grain of salt,
You can't
Mhm.
trust anything the man says.
and pepper,
Nope.
and maybe a bit of seasoned salt too.
And bacon.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yes,
bacon's
and
good.
bacon.
Bacon
Take it with a
crumbles.
grain of bacon.
I was going to say this, though. Another rumor that's never been confirmed anywhere, all I've seen is people citing other people saying they heard this, was that Zim is 16 years old in Irken years. So he's technically a teenager, rar ex.
Yeah.
No, Zim is a fully grown Irken adult, and it's not 16 in Irken years, because there's
No.
literally no one has cited any of that. They said, well, I heard it on DVD commentary. It's not there. You mean these DVDs? These that I have listened to too, and it's not on there? That ticks me off. Sorry. I do not like that rumor. Because it just seems like a forced attempt to justify Zatter more than anything.
Who knows?
I
It
don't
just
know.
seems like I feel like it is, because you bring Zim down to the teenage level, and then you age Dib up to a teenage level in your fan fiction, and then boom, there you go.
I guess. I don't know. I like that, kind of like that rumor, just so I could change Zim's voice for one of the comic books. Just so when he's talking to himself, it's not as distracting.
You said you like the rumor, huh? Is that what you said? I'm joking.
Slightly.
I like it. I like pretending to abuse my powers.
Pretending.
Hey, look, I'm over here again.
Yes, Jake. Oh,
No,
wait.
Wi-Fi. Emily has Wi-Fi issues.
Oh yeah, I see it in the chat now.
I thought you were messing around again.
Everyone, press F to pay respects to DB press F to pay respects to DB Emily because of her Wi-Fi issues, please. She keeps dropping out. Please press F to pay respects.
I did. I
I did too. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna jump in on the actual live stream chat and do the same. There we go. Thank you.
She entered the Florpus.
Rest in peace.
Rest in pepperoni.
Rest in pepperoni, indeed. She'll probably be back here in a second.
Or more importantly, rest in bologna.
Rest in bowling. Actually, I should pull up Facebook Messenger group so that she can message me if there's like something like, if it gets to the point where she can't join again, you know.
Rest in bologna.
Rest in baloney. Balagna.
Yes.
Navi, we have a very important question. Navi, why is it lowercase?
What?
I don't know. Oh, you when you pressed F to pay respect, it's lowercase.
Mine's lowercase too.
Oh,
Shame! No, I'm joking.
I'm sorry, I didn't hit the caps lock or the shift.
It's okay. Whatever.
I just pressed F. Didn't mind about the case.
Okay. Famous Hector said, what if Scooge is still living in Zim's basement and he forgot about Scooge and left him locked in there? I never liked the whole thing where Scooge just randomly showed up in Zim's basement. Oh, hey. Oh, she's back. Hang on. Hey, welcome back to the land of the living.
Yeah, it's
Hi, Zombie.
crazy down there in hell. Let me tell you.
Yeah. What's with the echo?
I'm in a pole barn.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. For the
I can
longest
try to fix
time,
it. Hold on. I'm gonna try to fix it.
Oh, okay. All right. For the longest time, she had fixed it, so I forgot that was actually there in the first place.
So
She's
the
back
whole
in the cave.
so it's like I never knew how to feel about the whole Scooge thing. It's like basically like they wrote him in there like basically as like a way to justify him being there.
I didn't like that. That's a little too random for me. Like when it comes to plot changing things, I want there to actually be some relevance when it comes to Invader Zim and things that like change the status quo.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I liked it better. So as far as I'm concerned, my headcanon is that he's still just stranded on Hobo 13.
Like, yeah,
I like
yeah.
the other theory
I'm
about
being
that.
the army guys still using me to beat away those beasts. those horrible beasts.
Yes, the floor beasts.
Yes.
Well, there was a theory I saw online that was pretty cool about the Hobo 13 episode. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah?
I totally buy it, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
So there was an animation error, and Scooch's pack is missing the entire episode. And
Yes.
it seems like Zim's the only one that interacts with them for the most part. So the theory was that Scooch was never actually there. It was just a demented hallucination that Zim had, and it was actually some other person, and he started calling him Scooch.
That's funny. I've heard that before. I always thought it was just like an animation error, obviously, but I thought it'd be funny to implement that. I actually included that in IZTDM to where like Scooge actually realizes he's missing his pack like halfway through, and that's why he wasn't controlled by the hive mind at first, was because he just forgot to put his pack on. But like when he realizes it, that's when he starts dying after he realizes.
So Looney Tunes like logic.
Yeah.
Yep. Here.
They don't fall off the cliff until they realize they're falling.
Pretty
off the cliff.
much. Yep.
Hi.
Hi, I'm back. I don't know if this helped at all. I literally have to hold the soundproof padding like next to my face.
Oh,
I don't know if
well, if
this
that's
helped
too
at
much
all.
trouble. If that's too much trouble, just drop it. We'll deal
It's
with
not. It's not. It provides a nice shade.
it. Okay, well, cool.
Does it help though, or is
Whatever.
it still really echoey?
Whatever works.
Is it still echoey though?
Yeah, but it's not too bad.
Not as bad.
It's not really distracting.
Someone said it's up under the layer of Scooge's back neck. His pack is underneath the folds of his skin,
Ew.
like up there. You know where his head mixes.
I can confirm I have a lot
No
of.
way.
I have a,
What are you gonna
Clembrain took it.
I have a lot of folds behind my back.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, are we doing impressions now?
No.
gross.
No.
I mean, I'll do Scooge whenever you bring him up, but that's about it. Unless you don't want me to.
No, I'm good.
It's
I'm there. Hi there.
Great.
Oh, this is so stupid. Stanley doesn't know how to do impressions, and he can't do improv. So we should say, Ezra! Ezra!
Hello.
Oh,
Let it off.
Hey! Oh my
Hey.
gosh, he's here!
Whoa. Stanley, calm down.
Have any of you seen Zim at all? I'm looking for Zim. There you are, Zim.
Hey, sup? I'm
You
Zim.
sent me to a fiery grave. I'm gonna get back at you for that.
Okay, cool. I'm Zim. Hi, guys.
Sorry, tallest red. Don't hurt me.
Yeah. Don't hurt him because like he's Scooge and I'm Zim. Sup?
How
I
you
don't
guys
know what I'm
doing?
doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Hi, we're doing good.
I'm sorry I'm late, guys. My nap kind of took advantage of me.
Okay, well.
I was sleeping on Zim's couch this whole time, or underneath Zim's couch this whole time.
So
Ooh.
that's where Scooge was during this entire film.
I like to think he was still stranded on Hobo 13. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, I was stranded on Hobo. Yeah, sleeping under Zim's couch in Hobo 13.
Zim has an apartment he rents on Hobo 13.
Yes.
No,
He has a timeshare.
I really was missing Scooge and Tack during the movie, but yeah, we got a little bit of Tack, but not too much of Scooge.
Yeah, I was telling them earlier, I didn't care what characters were there as long as it was the main four, you know, Zim, Gur, Dib, Gaz. But what I cared more about is what they did with the characters that were there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And real quick, Ezra, since you weren't here at the start, we had two big questions we asked everyone. Number one, we asked them like a quick summary of what they thought of it. And then number two, we asked everyone what their favorite and least favorite parts of it were. So if you could answer that so I can have an excuse to go use the restroom, that'd be great.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll be right back. Don't burn down the live stream while I'm gone. Thank you.
All right, my
Your
favorite
input
part.
is that important that he doesn't want to be here.
My least favorite part. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. My least favorite part was, as many people have said, the pacing gets a little wobbly in some areas, and some of the animation doesn't look. The animation looks really great when it wants to, but there are some areas where it feels a little bit shaky. What was the other question? Oh, what's my favorite part?
And
Yeah.
least favorite part.
Pretty much.
He just said the least favorite.
So my favorite part was the absolutely gorgeous animation. When the animation was really beautiful, it is really beautiful.
Mhm.
Like it's like almost cinematic quality. And and oh boy, it's just the colors. Whoever did the color for this film really deserves a pat on the
Agreed.
back.
Yeah.
And of course the voice acting, the voices, and just, oh my gosh, it's as good as it ever was.
Well, there's some voices I didn't like.
Well, I mean, from the main four, Gaz did,
Oh, yeah.
Gurr, and Zim, and Jonan Vasquez's Clem Brain. That was kind of amazing.
Hi.
Stanley, you missed so much. Oh my God.
Now, what was the other question, Stanley? There was another.
Which one
question.
did you answer? Which one did you answer?
I answered
The
yeah,
like and dislikes.
yeah.
Okay, the other one, actually, there was technically two. So if you answered two of them, I remembered the other one. So there was technically two more. But the first one that I can think of is your basic 1 minute-ish summary of the movie, your basic thoughts in a short form. And then the other one was what your biggest fear was leading up to the movie, like your biggest fear before the movie is released. And while you're doing that, I'm going to use that as an excuse to get coffee. So
It's like he invites you to talk just so he can go do something else.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, so,
like he was so excited to get you on, but then when you come on and talk, he's going to do something else. Speaking of which, I had to go to the bathroom myself.
All right, see you, Jacob.
Okay, bye guys.
Everybody's just gonna leave.
So my 1 minute. Does anyone else need to go and do anything? I'll just talk. I'll just talk to the audience. My general thoughts on the movie. I liked it a lot. Like I said before, I think the pacing. If they just tweak the pacing a bit here and there, certain places, I think I would have liked it a lot more because I'm just kind of insane for that kind of stuff when it comes to good writing and things like that. I pick up on little things that just bugs the heck out of me. And there are some things I think could have been altered a little bit. I did like the. I was telling Stanley this earlier, off air, but I liked the commentary on like Apple Watches and phones and things like that, and how Zim uses that to take over the world, and he actually does. He actually does. It's funny because I mean that's kind of how Apple has taken over the entire world. But what was the other question? That was just kind of my general thoughts.
I feel like he's gonna pop back in.
What was your biggest fear leading up to the movie's release?
Oh yeah, my biggest fear. My biggest fear was the animation. I was hoping the animation wasn't going to look too Netflixy, you know, like really cheap. I knew it wasn't going to look cheap. I knew it was going to be at least good. I just didn't know. It was a mix of animation and the style because they changed the style a little bit going into the movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I guess Jonan has changed his style quite drastically over the course of 15 years. But
who knew, right?
Yeah.
Okay, keep it the same.
And I don't mind the style at all. I don't mind it. It's definitely not the original show, but I was willing to look past it. It definitely didn't distract from the from everything else, like the voice acting and the actual good animation when they decided, hey, let's make the animation good here. Well, I guess that all falls down to budgeting. I mean, I guess what I'm guessing they did is they picked and choose certain areas where I thought, okay, we're going to use most of the budget here, use the budget here, and then just kind of skate through.
Sorry.
Certain. What was that, Jacob?
I was gonna say, like, one of my favorite bits of the animation bump, or as I refer to it, is when the Earth's actually going through the Florpus phase and you see Zim laughing as the sky transitions in the background.
Did I miss?
That's one of my favorite.
Everything.
Oh my gosh, Stanley, you missed everything.
Always. Okay, sweet. Continue.
We were talking about our favorite animated segments because you know how the animation gets really good some places.
And I was just talking about how my favorite one of my favorite shots in the movie is like during like this scene where Zim's like, where the Earth's actually going through not the Florpus, but through the teleportation phase, and like Zim's laughing, and then the sky is like transitioning.
That was cool.
That's one of my favorite shots.
That was really cool.
Like that's one of the big shots for me in there. I mean, one reason why they put it in the trailer is because it's like looks that good.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite shots was actually in the trailer. It's the massive. The first time you see the massive, it's just blowing up planets and it's everything in its path. That was a really like
awesome.
Yeah, I thought that I could watch in a movie theater.
Yeah, I love that. I love how unstoppable it made the Urkins in that. Like they're just a slow path of destruction. They're literally carving a path through the universe, and nothing can get in their way.
A straight line through the universe.
Yeah, and I bet when they reach the end, they'll turn around, move over to the left a little, and then like
one thing it didn't really touch on. They
don't like to turn around. Turning's not fun.
Yeah, what are you gonna say, Ezra?
They'd rather die than turn.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently,
pretty much.
It's like this. I guess Purple said, "Turning isn't fun."
Right.
Sorry.
What was I going to say? It was
one thing you.
Oh yeah, it was the fact that throughout the course of the original show, they made a really big point out of we're not just blowing up planets or destroying planets, we're actually conquering them and turning them into stuff. Except here, they're literally just blowing up things, and they're not.
It's almost like they ran out of stuff to conquer and just got bored.
Right?
Yeah, that honestly wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they do remember, because even if I remember correctly, so if they do conquer something but they deem it useless, they just blow it up anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, even the things that. Thank you, trucks in the background.
What were you saying?
Conquering, by the time the series was it's just a really stupid parking structure planet. Like they didn't really have a reason to even conquer other than just to, have this huge empire that was just they just did it because. So there really wasn't a reason to conquer at this point, I don't think. Yeah, because
if the Martians work themselves into extinction to turn their planet into a spaceship because it's cool, then the Urkins darn well are doing this whole universal conquest thing for the same reason, because it's cool.
Apparently the Mercurians also did the same thing.
Yep.
Assuming they didn't have a. Oh no! It was the Martians had colonized both planets.
Oh well, Mercurians, Martians, same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
It's actually the same planet.
Same thing.
Totally the same. Totally.
Yes.
So, that was yes.
Sorry.
Was there a question I left unanswered? Was there something else?
Well, okay, so you answered favorite and least favorite. You answer what did you answer after that?
The fears.
The biggest fears. And did you give your 1 minute breakdown of what you thought?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think we're pretty much all actually. Don't repeat it. Don't make it super lengthy. Just give me a rapid fire answer so I'm caught up. What was your favorite and least favorite thing?
Favorite thing, I liked when the animation was really beautiful, and I didn't like when it wasn't beautiful.
Very good.
Yeah.
They're working on a budget, so I totally understand that. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and hey, we got a Zim movie, so I'm not going to complain anymore.
Right.
Was that all I had to say?
Your 1 minute.
Oh yeah, thing?
I don't know. Was it all he had to say for his favorite and least favorite thing?
I think so.
Okay, and then your 1 minute summary. I think you and I pretty much were on the same page there.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, but there were some things with the pacing and the story, and again, I'm just. You know what? I'm not even going to bring up the animation again. That's its own thing. Yeah. With the story and pacing. I'm like you, Stan. I notice little things in the story. It just bugs the heck out of me. That's one reason why I couldn't enjoy scary stories until in the dark.
Me too. I never got to tell you my thoughts on it. It was.
Yeah, you have to.
Zim only.
Sorry.
And trust me, the story in this Enter the Florpus movie, it's not bad at all. I mean, this is the writing gets pretty good, but I think there are little things here and there that could have been tweaked.
Not to interrupt, but I want to interrupt just real quick to mention that I thought they could have gotten rid of stuff like, for example, Gur's song, gotten rid of that, gotten rid of a few other things that didn't really do anything, and then made more room for the important plot stuff.
Like the pudding? Like
I
the pudding?
hated him so much. I wished he would just stop existing.
Pudding break.
Now,
Oh my god.
now, Ezra, what was the summary of your biggest fear going before the movie was released?
The pudding. No, I guess.
Do you fear the pudding?
I didn't like how they dragged the pudding on, but that's another story.
Yes.
My biggest fear going in was just my biggest fear was the style change. I think that was what a lot of people were talking about, but it didn't distract from any of the good stuff, and the style change wasn't bad at all. It just wasn't the show. That's fine. I mean, stuff changes. But,
Hang on, is someone listening without headphones?
Yeah.
I just heard a serious echo there for a second.
Yeah.
Do you possibly have any headphones you can put on, Jacob, or is that just not an option?
I haven't been using headphones this whole time.
I know. Okay, yeah. I just
It
wondered.
might have
if
just been
there
a
was more
weird
people.
feedback thing.
Okay, yeah, forget it. Okay, anyways, continue, Ezra. Sorry.
I forgot what I was saying.
And the art
your
style.
biggest fear was the style change. You said.
Yeah. I like the style change, but it was frightening me before I went in. I will say that I really like that anime opening.
I was telling them.
I was kind of mixed when I first saw it, but I thought, no, that was actually really awesome.
When I used to see the world with eyes glittering, wide eyes or whatever. It's like the sparkling eyes or whatever.
We never saw the swollen eyeball through the movie. I thought he carries the briefcase around, but I thought they're going to make some kind of appearance. But
They had like one of you guys had a theory on that he was just flat out kicked out of it, and like he just still has all his memorabilia, but they like kicked him out after his Eats Waffles.
Yeah, that was what I came up to the realization with my friend yesterday. She's like, but Navi, literally, he was kicked out of it from Zimmeep's Waffles. They're just like, don't call us. Stop calling us.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Because they never mention it again in the entire series. They never mention it in the comics.
That's right.
Okay, what if Zimmeep's Waffles is actually the last episode and just Dib never left that chair? What if
it's a prologue? It's a prologue to Into the
God. It's the prologue.
Proof is in the pudding.
Zimmeep's Waffles was phase 1.
Yeah.
There even is a waffle thing into the Florpus even.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, because in Zimmeep's Waffles, it's like the same thing. He's like trying to remember what his evil plan was.
Hey, what the heck? Do the writers just subliminally recycle that? Because Zim's trying to remember his plan. Zim's trying to remember his plan, okay? And they also have the element of Dib sitting there watching him from a security camera in his chair. I wonder if there's like a subtle sort of, not unintentional, just like a subtle sort of back of the mind sort of influence there.
Possibly.
Also, before I forget this, I want to show the audience here something that I thought was pretty cool about the animation at the end, and some of us already saw it, but for those of us who haven't, share screen, click on the right one. Share, okay, and we'll go. Okay, so right here is a still image from a Flipnote Hatina, and for those who don't know, that was a big website when it came to Zim, Invader Zim fan animations. That was huge.
I have some of my Zim animations from Flipnote.
Yeah, but that was all over the place. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But
it was a huge community.
Yeah,
there were like 33,000 members, I think, on just the Invader Zim part.
I wish
it was pretty big.
I wish I would have taken a better screenshot, but I think this was a shout out to that in the ending sequence when they were flipping through random animation styles. Like, let me zoom in here.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it was a shout out. I think they were. I wonder if they were actually referencing, because that was a huge fan thing, and I'm wondering if they were giving a shout out to the big fan animation community.
Maybe. If they did that. Wait, let me take a look at that. Hold, I didn't even realize that was there.
Yeah. It's at near the end. I guess we could do
because
this
even the pencil strokes look very like pixely.
Yeah, I didn't want to show anything from the movie for fear of getting copyright struck.
Yeah.
But I guess I can show that still image. It'll be fine.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to show my friend that, because remember I told you, like, my friend and I reconnected after watching this movie after, like, I haven't, like, we became friends in 2011. This was how we became friends, was Flipnote. And so that's really cool. I'm gonna have to go back and show her that now. I didn't even realize.
Okay, I'm about to find it. Let me just pause at the right point and then Hopefully this doesn't copyright me.
Oh my god.
There it is. And I don't want to play it for fear.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that like screenshot up close and really see if like because the paint looks like it. Some of the painting.
Look at the
that is there.
shading. Look at the shading on the concrete and the buildings. It has that dotted.
Yeah. Like it looks. Yeah.
So I thought that was a shout out, and if it's not,
if it is, that's incredible. I love
that's
that.
really cool. That's
amazing.
Really cool.
I like how the subtitle just says "relax."
Relax, guys. It's not a shout out. Calm down. And personally, I was a huge fan of how creepy they made Irken technology in this, like Zim's base, the Robo Parents. They added they didn't make it over the top, but they made it definitely. It was a lot creepier than in the show itself.
That's saying something too.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, I'm just going to say this before I forget.
Given the scene where
hang on. Ezra's going to say something before he forgets.
Sorry.
I just want to say something quick. It's about Gur. I don't like how they basically just used him as a tool just to spout random things. I mean, he did that in the show a lot. I was expecting to get for Zim or someone get a little more use out of him. I think that now that they after like over 15 years of basically the fans basically just what am I trying to say? It's Gur
has a hot topic fan base.
Yeah, Gur has a hot topic fan base, and basically they just took like extreme advantage of that. And I heard someone say that this movie is basically everything you love about Invader Zim pushed to the max, and I guess that would include Gur.
Yeah, but there's a problem. It's pushed to the max.
That's true.
Yeah, I was expecting Gur to, go into evil mode a little more or do something really cool, or because he does it in the show sometimes, in what's it?
Gur goes crazy and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
Well, they didn't, push the max, though.
The knowledge, it fills me. It is neat.
I ate a baby there.
They didn't push the, I guess, the darkness to the max. Then that's the one thing they didn't.
They didn't up the cynicism. I was hoping they would do more dark humor because Nickelodeon's not there to restrain it. They even flat out say, "We thought you were dead, Zim," and they casually talk about death, and it's like, okay, so they clearly don't have Nickelodeon shackling down so hard on him anymore.
Because they made this movie when they were still under the Nickelodeon roof, when they weren't under the Netflix. Netflix.
I mean, Netflix doesn't technically it's technically still a Nickelodeon thing, and they produce it. It's just like Nickelodeon just owns Netflix just owns the distribution.
Yeah, but I have the feeling that Nickelodeon was a lot more hands off with this, like a lot more hands off.
Well, the thing is that they.
I think the movie was pretty much completed before the whole Netflix deal, though.
Yeah.
No, it was. But Nickelodeon, as far as during the production, they were a lot more hands off. Even when they owned it, they were hands off.
But what they did with the Hey Arnold movie, what they did with the Arnold movie, the Hey Arnold movie, is they put it on television, and they didn't do that with Rocko's Modern Life or Zim. So I'm guessing that they made it. They had an agreement with the filmmakers here who worked on Zim, that including Jonah, that basically it had to be toned down a little bit in order for kids who would be watching the Nickelodeon channel at that time, so they wouldn't get scarred for life, But
then why didn't they? I wish they would have upped the darkness then.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm saying they probably couldn't do that because they thought it was going to be put on television.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so wait, Jacob, you were going to say something, and I'm sorry. What were you going to say? You were going to say something.
What I was going to say was entirely unrelated to Ezra's point.
That's okay. We love unrelated stuff.
The point I was saying was talking about the whole creepiness of the creepiness of his design of the interior, his base.
Oh yeah.
It's related to that. He's even the scene where the computer's draining the power from the city is actually pretty creepy.
Activating sneaky mode.
Sneaking.
Yeah,
which is hilarious because that's just about as sneaky as you need to be around these morons.
That's pretty much as sneaky as Zim can get. Mega Doomer's pretty much as sneaky. That's the Irken example of stealth is the Mega Doomer.
They don't do stealth. They do. I'm gonna blow you up, and you're gonna have to like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that scene, I think probably one of the most graphic images we got in this entire thing was of the computer sucking out that guy's insides, literally just draining him.
I'm going to have to politely disagree. That's the second most graphic. The most graphic was Dib working out. That was uncalled for.
It's like I got in shape. I got too out of shape. Then I got back in normal shape.
I hated that joke so much. I hated that joke.
You know, I liked that joke, but I think I didn't like the fact that they buffed Dib up so much that it just cut, because that wasn't a part of the original show. They didn't do that in the original show.
They did that in the comic, and I still didn't like it then.
Yeah, the thing is, it wasn't in the show, and the comic isn't canon to the show.
Yeah.
And they didn't have jokes like that in the show, and I think they should have left it out.
It felt too much like Ren and Stimpy, and not enough like
it did. Yeah, I think there's some stuff in this
body stuff.
Yeah, I think there's stuff in this movie that does feel a little too Ren and Stimpy, and not kind of out of place, you know.
Yeah.
But
I didn't like that, and I didn't like his execution of the line. Whatever he said. I got too out of shape. Now I'm back in shape. Now I'm normal shape. I didn't like that. It didn't make. I didn't laugh.
Yeah, I didn't really like the fast talking at all in this movie. Like, in the show, they made it make sense. Like, for the Megadoomer, for example. Zim's super excited, so he like, says that line as fast as he can.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you for tossing so bad, I'm gonna buy! You know.
Yeah, pretty much. And then when they do it in the movie, it almost seems like they're trying to save time a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You dare agree with me! You sounded like Zim for a second.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the point. That was one of Zim's land Megadoomer.
Yes. No. I mean, like, who said you dare agree with me?
I did.
You did. Okay, sorry. I was trying to watch the chat. I did. That was good. You sounded exactly like him.
You know,
dare agree with me,
but you made your doom.
It's when you strain your voice. I'm sorry. I don't want to put you through that anymore, but I know when you strain your voice, it's like almost spot on. It's weird.
Stanley, I'm gonna flatter you for a second.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Because I stayed up all night, and I saw this movie because I realized the movie was actually out around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was already up all night animating. And I got Netflix up, and I looked, and yes, it was there. Enter the Florpus was up finally, and so I watched it, and I finished watching the movie. I didn't know what to think, because it's been such a long time since I've seen Zim. Not just since the show's been on, since I've actually seen an episode. I haven't seen an episode in years. And I thought, wow, I'm not sure I like that. That was what I thought originally. And I just remember thinking, and I still kind of think this now, I think that yours would have been better.
Agreed.
I am not ready to shoulder that responsibility. I am not going to. I'm going to say thank you. I am going to say humbly thank you, and I'm not going to comment further because that's dangerous. That's dangerous territory for me to tread.
Yeah.
There are elements in yours that I think work a lot better than what they have in this movie.
I agree.
For example, the stakes in yours are a ton higher, and I respect the heck out of that, because
thank you.
Zim actually goes out for revenge against the tallest, and I really wanted to see that happen.
Yeah,
in this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I thought it was going to happen in this one. But it was kind of like that for a second, but then he just got into that mopey mood, and then he was back to his normal evil self again. And I thought, shoot.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad you liked that. I'm like, and obviously, I could say I liked my story better than that, but that's only because I wrote it. Obviously, I would tailor it to my preferences. So that me saying that doesn't really count, because it's obviously tailored. Why would I write something I don't like? You know?
Yeah. Plus, the pacing in yours, I thought, was a lot. Is that a cricket?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm like half outside right now. I was like about to mute because I was like tired of that stupid thing outside. I'm like, shut up. I'm sitting in our warehouse right now outside.
I was going to say, hopefully what I'm saying isn't that boring.
I'm going to mute myself just while you guys are talking.
Okay, well, thank you.
I think the pacing, Stanley, in yours was a lot better. It was a lot more cinematic, or just movie quality, you know, because I guess Zim can never really be cinematic. But I think if I was going to see a Zim movie on the big screen, I want it to be yours, because the pacing is a lot more relaxed and just it's easier to take in. It's easier than Enter the Florpus, per se.
Well, thank you.
Daphne, what are you doing in a warehouse? Were you kidnapped?
It's like she's like in
basically she's in some kind of store barn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go on, Stanley.
No, I was just gonna mention. I've already told them. I've already given you credit to this multiple times, but I want to do it again. Thank you very much for this puppet, by the way.
Oh,
I love it so much. It is great, and I have been using it throughout the live stream. I actually used it earlier, not to get too off topic, and I thank you for that. And we can talk about my fan project later, considering we're all involved in it. And once we've pretty much exhausted Enter the Florpus, we can talk about that if you guys want. But I wanted to say, I was using it earlier to demonstrate why you can laugh so easily at Invader Zim's character's misery and not feel guilty. Is because they don't really feel like real characters. They feel like dummies.
And most shows that would actually be a negative thing.
Right, but in this show, it's a positive.
Yes, basically because of the increasingly dark, stupid tone of it.
Right.
Dark. It's dark but stupid.
Well,
Either that, or they're being because all the characters they're. I mean, I guess except for Dib, but they're all the characters are pretty terrible, you know. I guess Dib is terrible in his own way.
He is in his own way. He's a bit xenophobic, actually.
So I guess that's also the reason why it's like they're all terrible, so you don't really care what happens to them.
He's pretty much xenophobic to its literal extreme because xeno literally means fear of like aliens.
Yes, like he really. I think Dib would have major hesitations about allying with the Resisti. If he just met him out of the blue, I feel like it wasn't in the context of an Urkin versus Resisti thing.
Speaking of which, we never saw the Resisti, and that makes me mad.
Yeah, there was too much they had to cram in. I know. I'm kidding. I do like the fact that they focused more on the Membrane family because I like the Membrane family's dynamic in this more than in the original show.
They could have put the Resisti in the jail cell. That would have been nice.
That would have been funny. Even as background characters, that would have been a nice little touch.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been a nice touch. You're right. Daphne, are you still alive?
I think
I'm still alive. I'm trying to find this cricket and actually kill it. So just give me a moment.
We're about to witness murder on screen. Avert your eyes, children.
Well, it'd be off camera. We hear it, just not see it.
Yeah,
we just hear a tiny.
No, I have a family.
That cricket has a family.
Like that German germs.
That cricket has a family.
Is it weird that the germ had more personality? That germ that Zim killed had more sympathy, mustered more sympathy than pretty much anything else dying in the show.
Yeah, it's like that's pretty much that's pretty much the most sympathetic character in the whole series.
Yes.
So where do you guys think that Tak is during this movie? Because she's obviously not in the movie. So
Space.
Yep.
You think she's still floating in space?
Yes.
She's in space.
The law of character inertia. Wherever you leave off a character, they're there unless proven otherwise.
Works for me, I guess.
She's in space plotting her revenge against Zim.
If she's still alive after over 15 years.
Well, to be fair, Zim survived 6 months in space with Gur singing the Doom song. We got to take that into account.
I guess you're right.
Did Tak was Tak in a ship, or was she just sucked into space?
She was in like an escape pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
Because
she has
Zim
her.
has Tak's ship.
I think a really great post-credit scene would have just been Tak just floating in space for a good 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
And then it just smash cuts to black and that's the end of the movie.
Okay, it's been dealt with.
Dad cricket, yes.
Where was
Yay,
it?
murder.
It was hiding inside the barn, unlike I thought before, and it was hiding conveniently right under a broom.
And then it wasn't because it died.
Yeah.
Crazy thing. It just died out of nowhere.
It was pretty graphic for a cricket death, honestly. But anyway.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing it was
Sorry,
censored.
that actually made me gag.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing you censored it then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bugs gross me out. Sorry, go ahead.
One of the things I loved most about this movie, I guess more on the promotional side for this movie, was the new toys they released for it. Because they released, well, you got the Zim minifigures. Remember, I sent you that one.
Oh, yeah, this one. I didn't know with that.
And then they had the Zim Inger riding on a pig Funko Pop, which I have here if you guys want to see it.
Yeah. I've been, and by the way, feel free to turn on your camera if you want. We don't really care.
I actually have a couple Funko Pops, not of Zim, but a couple of them.
I've been thinking about collecting Funko Pops because I know people are annoyed by them. Oh,
I've
nice.
always wanted that one.
Well,
Bad rubber piggy.
That is really cool.
See, that's actually a decent Funko Pop, but I'm kind of in the boat where they kind of annoy me too. But that's actually really well done.
No, they annoy other people, and that's exactly why I want to collect them.
I mean, I don't go out of my way, but I collect ones. I collect ones that I get. I mean, I have like 4 or 5 of them that I only get. But I got them because I like them, not because of annoyance or anything like that.
Yeah, I have a few myself, but I think I put them away because I just didn't have anywhere to display them. I think I kept my Spider-Man ones out, but that's it. Then they had these aren't Funko figures, but they had these little mini.
Wait, Ezra, I'm gonna snag that. Show them real quick. Okay, I'm going to reach down and pull up the one from below the screen. You ready? Oh, I ruined the illusion. Here we go. Toss it up. Pull it up. I'm pulling it up now. Pull up the
Wrong
red
one.
Wrong.
Yeah. The other one, yeah.
Whoa, it's like magic. Whoa.
And now, with the snap of my fingers, I'm going to make it appear in Ezra's room again. Ready? Oh, wait.
That's really
Okay.
Snap! It's there! I'm the world's greatest magician.
Oh my god, how'd you do that? Oh my god.
Now it's in 2 places at once.
The magic of the internet.
Okay, so you can shut off your camera if you want. I just thought it'd be funny.
But I liked that they brought some new Zim stuff out. That made me really, really happy.
And it's not just Gur.
And it's not just Gur. No, they had the blind bags too, of like Zim, Dib, Gaz. Actually, they actually made Dib and Gaz stuff this time.
Oh,
and
cool.
they made a couple Gur ones. But they made two Zim versions. Then they had one of each of Dib and Gaz, and then like 4 different Gur variants. But
You know what's crazy? Like this whole, I didn't think this would happen. Enter the Florpus is having a weird effect on me that I'm like really energized to like do something with IZTDM again.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I've always been wanting to wrap it up, but now I'm really eager to do so. Like I'm really eager to like take. I always was going to take the audio and show it anyways. That's definitely something that was going to happen. I just needed to wait till my plate was more empty. But now I'm like really excited to do that. Enter the Florpus actually energized me to do that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what kind of effect this has. Basically, the long-term effect this movie has, because it just came out, so it's hard to tell right now. But hopefully, we'll get some kind of other maybe I don't know, mini series or just shorts. Series of shorts that'd be nice, like on YouTube. How Nickelodeon does that sometimes.
Yeah. As I pointed out before. But I like one thing I like about at least the one thing I like is that it's final enough to act as like a grand finale to this show, but it's also open enough to act as a that can be continued onwards.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm really iffy. I'm really iffy about revamping the show if it's going to be more like Enter the Florpus, because I don't know. I don't feel like it's Zim at its best.
Oh,
whoa! Come back.
Hi. Sorry, we have really garbage Wi-Fi. Thank you.
Yes.
You have bad Wi-Fi in your barn?
Yes. I'm here in my barn.
Hey, most barns don't even have Wi-Fi, so that's
true. True. Yeehaw.
Okay. Quick
Stanley.
Question. Is it supper time does anyone have to go eat supper or anything quickly here or not?
I have no sense of time.
I was eating during the live stream.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna abandon you guys for a little longer than usual because I have to feed my dog, and my younger sister has special needs. I have to feed her supper real quick. So could you guys possibly entertain the live stream people while I'm gone for like 15 minutes?
Possibly, yes. I have to get going in a few minutes too because I have to babysit. My dad's going out and doing things.
Stanley, bring me some donuts back, please. I want some donuts.
Yeah, sure. I'm hey.
Oh my gosh, we get to see a call between Zim and the tallest.
Hey, my tallest. Okay, do you want me to actually try, or do you want me to just be lame? Because I can do both.
Either's fine. It's fine.
Of course I'll bring you donuts.
Okay,
Of
go
course
ahead.
I'll bring you
Wait,
donuts.
Zim. My tallest. Hi, it's me, Zim. I love you. I'm the best, but not as great as you.
Oh no, Zim! I thought
I
you were
have
dead.
a great plan, my tallest. I have an amazing plan.
What's the plan, Zim?
Ah!
That was a terrible plan.
Wow.
That's all
It's
I
like
got.
I'm really there.
Yeah.
It's so
You
real.
actually, it's
I
so
haven't-
real. It makes you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
We thought you were dead, Zim.
No, as you can see, I am alive and Zimish.
A quick question,
I
Zim,
am
before you go any
Yeah,
spaghetti.
yeah.
What do you guys think happened to the tall? Did they actually die, or do you think that they just kind of fell into another dimension and fell on fire?
I don't think I think they're too vital of a. I think they're too critical of a part component to actually die. I think they're going in the Florpus. They're burning. The massive's on fire.
Yeah,
And they're gonna pop out the other side somewhere.
Yeah, we pretty much came to the conclusion that they're just suffering.
Yeah, they'll suffer.
Okay.
And then whenever Jonan says it's okay, they'll just pop out somewhere else.
Because they showed that clip of them on fire, and I thought, oh my gosh, are the tallest in hell?
I thought that at first too, but then I'm like, no, wait, that doesn't make sense within the Zim universe. And Zim couldn't transmit to them if you're
Yeah, how
being.
are they able to call them?
Yeah.
So I bet that's in the massive. It's just really the massive's on fire.
That's
Yeah.
right.
At first, within the massive evaporator, I thought, oh my gosh, they just died.
That is exactly the anticlimactic death that I would expect from certain Zim characters. Just it'd be so funny.
Yeah.
It's like everybody just dies.
Yes,
Anyways,
like
go eat your spaghetti.
Yeah, I'll be right back in like 15 minutes. Okay, guys, you entertain the live stream masses. Someone make sure to pull up the live stream chat. Someone so you
I
can
got it
feel.
pulled up.
Okay, good. You can
Let's
feel
maybe-
questions.
just
maybe you
sing.
could- maybe-
Let's just sing the
maybe you
peace
could prop
song
Zim up.
for.
Yeah,
15
I'm gonna have
minutes.
Zim's gonna be on here. Zim will be here to entertain you guys, but he's really sleepy, even though
Okay.
Urkins don't sleep, so he's not gonna say a single thing.
Okay. All right.
You can prop them up against the house
I thought
back there or
I thought
something
Urkins
like
didn't
that.
sleep.
And I thought Zim was always talking all the time.
Yeah, it's something Zim does.
Guys, we're just gonna sing the peace song for 15 minutes.
Peace is nice. Peace is nice.
Peace is better than chicken and rice.
No,
You have to
Ezra.
scream it.
no, Ezra. It goes like,
Hey.
peace is better than chicken and
I
rice.
just realized something. I just realized the peace song has the same cadence as "We love rain, we love rain."
Oh yeah.
Splash,
Wow,
splash,
yeah.
splash. Anyways, okay, bye.
That just goes to show you that just goes to show Jonan's amazing songwriting talents.
Yes,
He uses the exact same tune he used 15 years prior.
yes. Expert
Amazing.
songwriter.
Over
Yes.
15 years prior.
You guys, if I read one of the comments from the chat.
Go ahead.
All right,
Go for it.
so Almighty Taurus Nazo, I guess, says, I can picture it now, Zim being a brutal dictator of Earth, forcing the humans to manufacture and create spaceships, kind of like similar to that of the Urkins, and forcing the humans into an army.
Huh. Yeah.
That's interesting because they have the technology, don't they? So
Yeah. This is supposed to be like a futuristic, but like also slightly dystopian Earth.
That'd be kind of cool for Zim to have an army, though.
Mhm.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
And sorry for shredding your ears earlier.
Hey, it's a Zim podcast. That's what everyone's supposed to do.
Yeah, that
You're supposed to be
Yeah.
prepared for these sorts of things.
that hurt.
Yeah,
That
especially
actually
random yelling.
that actually kind of hurt my throat a bit.
As
Just have another soothing lozenge.
Yeah.
Fetch me a soothing lozenge.
Maybe that'll help.
I love the soothing lozenge bit, just a nod towards Richard Horvitz. What he has to go through.
What is it?
The soothing lozenge bit in the movie, where it's just like, fetch me a lozenge at one part, and
Is
I'm just
it-
like thinking of Richard Horvitz, where he's
Is
always
it-
saying like,
Yep,
"Zim
yep.
makes me hoarse and I'm like dead for 2 days or something."
Oh, I guess I missed that part.
Especially
It's in like interviews and stuff. He talks
Oh,
about how
okay.
like it like really does damage to his throat.
Oh
Can you,
yeah.
imagine, can you imagine the recording of Germs?
Oh,
Oh.
Oh
no.
my!
That's like I was actually watching the show with somebody, and like they said they love this show, but one of their least favorite aspects is all the screaming.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But guess what their favorite episode was? Germs. You know, the episode that has the most screaming.
I think it was actually like a trivia that in one of the episodes, and I don't know if this is true or not because it's been so long. I think it was Megadoomer. There's a scene where Zim is like maniacally laughing and then he coughs. That was actually a real cough from Richard Horvitz. Like he actually started coughing during the
Oh
recording.
yeah, that is a mega humor. You're totally
Is it mega
right.
humor? Yeah.
Yeah, he has like Richard says it's just like a horse hop,
Yeah.
like a horse like laughing cough that he has to do.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing it also too in like Tak the Hideous New Girl, with like that horrible laugh. at the end.
Yeah. It gets really like raspy halfway through. Mhm.
Like, yeah, you kind of feel bad for the guy. He's like forced to scream half the time. Oh,
Oh look, a cereal bowl.
well, it's spaghetti.
Whoa.
Daphne, speaking of germs, do you still have that Invader Zim box set I sent
I
you?
do. It's sitting on my collectibles shelf.
Stanley, you missed so much.
Yeah.
One of my favorite gifts I've ever gotten. I love it. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, hi, boy. Hi, Sam. Hey, dog appearance time. Sit.
Does anybody else have that Zim house box set?
No.
No, I'm gonna make
No.
my own.
Oh, dog
Yeah.
reveal.
It's my puppy.
Aw.
This will bring in more
Sam.
viewers.
Yes.
Hi,
watch,
Sammy.
Observe the dog. Hello. I'm trying to
We're-
mooch off of Stanley's supper is what I'm doing.
Aw.
And we're not going to launch this one into space, unlike her.
Ew, could you imagine like Invader Zim live action?
Oh god.
Oh no.
No.
You know
Oh my
what?
God.
You guys see
What,
my turtle?
what would
in
you
there?
guys think?
Beautiful.
What would you guys think of
Excellent
like a? Oh, turtles.
Yep.
Turtles make everything better.
Yes.
What would you guys think of an Invader Zim anime type thing? Not exactly in the style of what we got in the opening, but there were certain like I noticed when Zim's ship was flying towards the Earth, that style it was in was really
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
thought, wow, I want to see like a show or like some kind of miniseries in that style because that looks incredible.
I think
Well,
it could work.
Let me look it up.
Because what they did with it, because with I know they did some kind of Powerpuff Girls anime sometime back. I know I'm not sure what it's called, but I think if they did something like that with Z, okay, I thought it was Powerpuff Girls X. I'm not sure what it is. And,
You said when Sim's ship was flying to the Earth?
yeah, it's in the opening, I think.
Okay, let me see
pretty
if I
sure.
can find
Yeah,
it.
there's a part.
I'll screen share it when I find it. I think I'll know what you're talking about.
I think it's after the robot parents.
It's during the anime thing, I thought, right?
It is during the
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, I remember what shot it is.
Okay, I don't think this is the shot, but this is a cool shot. I'm going to share this. This is really cool. I love this shot so much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And Dib looks so stupid.
And the text with it too.
Yeah, until space
perfect.
looks back.
Yeah, can you play this opening sequence? Okay, we're gonna,
Yeah, I hope I don't get copy struck, but we'll see.
I think you'll be fine.
If you play this out of context, I don't know how many people think this is from Zim.
This,
Well,
this,
it's
yeah,
on
right.
audio, it's fine. Because remember that live stream I had, Stanley? It didn't copyright strike me, even though it was just episodes playing.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
I love
Yeah.
that so much. Of course, yeah. That looks great.
Yeah.
I think they were in. Oh,
That one
that.
right
There it is.
Yeah.
That.
Ooh,
Oh.
Yes.
I just like get
Oh,
chills
yeah.
watching that shot because
That's really great.
amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my live stream safe. And yeah. Oh, wrong one.
Oh, but
We get eating ASMR.
Well, you guys just really cracked up at that.
well, it's funny because I was eating my dinner off playing the camera. I was just putting in the chat. I'm like, sorry pizza, sorry pineapple juice. Like my parents would just come by with stuff, and they're like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Okay." Quickly mute this.
I've been watching.
Take it.
I've
Sorry,
been
I
watching
forgot.
like cursed ASMR videos the last couple days. It's really fun.
Ah, there we go.
Uh-oh.
So
This is totally
I
on
was just
topic.
gonna say, I'm sorry about the cereal thing. I forgot there was a mute button.
Is that what it is, cereal?
Behold, cereal for supper. I don't-
Whenever you
Wow.
say you're gonna eat supper, I always think you're gonna eat spaghetti because that's what you were going off to eat. That's what you're going off to eat in that early Zim video you did.
I remember
You said
that.
something like,
Like, my
"I'm gonna go eat
spaghetti's ready.
spaghetti." Yeah.
I remember
that means I just eat spaghetti every day for supper.
Get your spaghetti ready.
Oh my god. He just lives on spaghetti.
Yep.
Get your spaghetti ready.
Oh, you caught me.
But is it dry cereal or does it have milk?
He's eating so much spaghetti, he's become part Italian.
Yes.
The best food ASMRs whenever Joey's World Tour eats Popeye's chicken.
Can I just safely say I don't do the ASMR thing at all?
I barely even know what that is.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I mean, I kind of know what it is, but
Yeah. Italian Stanley intensifies.
yeah.
Yep, Stanley feeds on noodles confirmed.
Yep.
Yeah, Stanley feeds on noodles. Unfinished Stanley episode.
Yes. Stanley feeds on noodles.
I found a Relax with Jesus ASMR. Sent that to all my friends. That was something.
What?
It was Relax with Jesus ASMR.
What does that sound like?
It was
just
a guy dressed up as Jesus talking like Jesus.
What?
Okay.
He dresses up as different
What is it?
characters, and he'll make
What?
ASMR videos of him pretending to be those people.
What does that have to do with Zim anymore?
Yeah,
We were
let's
talking
get
about
back-
ASMR.
Let's get back to Zim. This is getting uncomfortable.
I think we all want a dib ASMR. That's what we all
Of course.
No! I already hate Dibs so much.
It'll just be him going, yeah! You know, like how he does at the show, like, yeah, you know.
That's
And
meaningless.
just be Dib talking to him. And then occasionally asking himself, why am I talking to myself? And he
Wait,
starts
Navi,
talking to himself again.
that was Mini Moose, not Dib.
Why was there ham in my pocket?
I know.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of the same noise, and then it came out Ninny Moose instead of Dib.
Oh, okay.
You know, thank you for bringing the ham thing up. That's one thing I didn't like in the story was they literally need a separate character to introduce this ham and then reintroduce it later on because
the funny thing,
the audience won't.
if they would have just come along, went with it, and like Gaz just whipped it out and hit Dib, that would have been perfectly in tune with the show's somewhat random humor, and it'd be kind of dark because Dib's almost choking on it, and then. Yeah, like, do you still have that ham? Oh yeah, and like the audience is smart enough to remember when she hit him with the ham. It was pretty on the nose, so like they didn't need the narrator at all, and it would have been a fine joke.
Yeah,
But I still
will
forgot.
say,
The first
Narrator,
time.
though.
What's that?
It was a
I
good
forgot
narrator.
about
though.
Good narrator, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
I really loved that they got some of the original voice cast back, like for the Arkan pilot. Like they got him back. I thought, oh my gosh, those guys are awesome for getting these people back. I'm not sure if they're actual crew members or if they're actual people they had to go out and find or what.
But
But
the best thing is, like, that's a character no one would care if you switch voices because they're all extras. They're easily replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. What about what's his name? The guy from Rick and Morty doing the chef robot.
Is that Justin Roiland?
Justin Roiland.
Oh, okay.
Roiland.
It's Justin Roiland.
I heard he was originally supposed to voice Clembrain, but Jonan wound up doing it because of complications.
Thankfully.
As I said earlier, Justin Roiland can do two voices, Rick and whatever, then the voice he uses for pretty much everything else he does.
Well, I like. I'm gonna sound really stupid for saying this, but the symbolism with the Jonan playing the father figure, or quote unquote the father figure, because this is like people have always said, like the crew's always said that this show is like his baby. So I don't know. Maybe that sounds too.
I think that's a neat coincidence, but I don't think they did that on purpose.
No. I know they did. Yeah.
I think I just think it's like he was able to do like the stupidest voice possible for him, so he just went with it.
It's like Nick from Zimmy's Waffles.
Didn't he do Nick too?
Yeah, he did exactly.
That's funny.
I'm so happy.
All the time.
It's great. It's great.
I like how they mentioned Nick being dead in the comics. I just kind of subtly hit towards it, like, I need a new like slave. My last one exploded.
And isn't one of the last lines he has? It's good.
All the time screeching is doing a number on my throat.
He needs waffles. Oh yeah.
That's my favorite Jonah Vasquez performance. Not the computer, not Clembrain. It's Nick.
Nice.
It'll always be Nick.
I still can't believe it's actually him.
Crazy. Excuse
It's
me.
like I
I
still
like
can't
how
believe.
Nick let him get away with it too.
I think it's crazy how like Ricky Simmons voices both Gurr, and then he voiced the rescue guy in Girl Who Cried No. I'm like, yeah, Gurr, and Gurr talks like this, and then the rescue guy is like, oh, let me get you out of here.
What about Bloaty? Bloaty in this was pretty great.
Yeah.
You eat the pizza.
It is 10 pizzas. It's a pizza with 10 kinds of pizzas.
Just throws it up on the window. That's great.
Pizza with 10 kinds of pizzas.
I'm
I
wondering
like.
how that guy in the bloated suit hasn't gotten diabetes yet after all this time.
I'm wondering how he's still alive, to be honest.
I'm wondering how he hasn't just jumped in front of a truck or something.
The suit. My headcanon is that it's probably just a living sentient suit.
Ew. Like chicken foot?
Well,
You
like,
know,
At least
probably.
tried to.
not well, because chicken foot was just delusional, but it wouldn't be surprising me if Bloaty's just like an actual sentient pig suit.
Ew.
Well, except that horrible scene where he actually got out of his
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
one
No,
was,
yeah, I think Jacob.
Pizza.
I'm gonna side with. I'm gonna side with Jacob. I think the suit probably just ate him.
yeah.
It's consumed him.
Gained sentience.
I think that is
Also-
just a suit now.
It's like the suit. Probably, I mean, I was just joking, but there
makes
wouldn't be.
sense.
Technically, that wouldn't be out of place in this show, considering the whole Santa suit thing.
It's our new
I know,
headcanon.
But back to what you said earlier, Stanley, about him just like standing out in front of a truck or something. Well, he stopped a spaceship, so I don't know if that would work.
True.
Good point.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a point.
Well, I'm
You
not
know-
saying he would work. I'm not saying it
The
would
suit
work. I'm
is
just saying he would try it.
the suit is so dense
He's
it could probably survive a nuclear explosion.
He just consumes the bus.
But it was he himself who got hit by the spaceship without the suit.
Yeah.
I will always laugh at the image of that spaceship just smashing through that wall and just like him just like completely just like absorbing the suit, absorbing the spaceship, and then just like popping it back out.
Yes.
And then slamming into the wall behind it.
No more pizza.
Not even noticing.
Eat more pizza. Like, it's like he has to sound like he's in constant pain.
It is.
I will love whenever Ricky just does that. Do.
Yeah.
Just
Right?
no subtext. Just a random character just doing.
Yes.
I like the joke when what was that line that Membrane had, and that guy said,
That's not scientifically possible.
Exactly. What did he say?
He said, remember, it was like, none of you are. I am most. He's something about Membrane.
That's
being the
right.
most-
Oh, yeah, I remember what it was. It was like he's like talking about like I'm probably more excited than you. Not scientifically possible. Like talking about how excited, like he's like talking about. I'm sure I'm the most excited one here. I'm pretty excited. I'm more excited than you. Not scientifically possible. Like that's the same guy who does Squidward, by the way.
I know.
And I like that they made Membrane a cyborg because that explains a lot.
I love. Okay.
When I was younger, a shark took my arm.
I liked. That was my second favorite joke. Was when he was like, "Why, when I was a child, I used to think sharks were my friend," and then he turns around. I found out, or I have since learned. And,
Yeah.
and then like, at the end of the movie, both arms are metal.
I mean,
He
maybe
got
like
both
maybe,
arms were caught by sharks.
like maybe he tried twice.
He tried twice.
Maybe-
There's two separate occasions.
Maybe he tried hugging sharks twice. Like and then like both times they're like.
Then it brings into question of like just how much of him is cyborg. Like
Well,
what's
I mean,
actually
well,
left of him.
What I wonder if his legs are actually like, because he was able to fly unless that was his boots. But really, basic question: like, are his legs cybernetic too?
Okay. Speaking of redesigns and character decisions, can we talk about the most horrible thing that really tanked the movie and made it trash was the fact that the tallest had thumbs.
Oh my god.
I never even noticed that.
I didn't notice it
I
either.
hardly noticed
Me
it.
neither.
When I did notice it, it ticked me off. I like them being these long, spindly, insect-looking things, and them having thumbs, it just felt weird.
Well, I think as long as they don't have full out like 5 sets of digits, then I think I'm fine. I didn't even notice.
They felt. I like the tallest. Their fingers were no longer spindly.
What was I going to say? All right. Anything with the tallest, I liked a lot. The tallest were one of the best parts of this film.
Really? Did you like the characterization of red and purple then?
I did. I just liked how they made them just how they're just so like even stupider than they were in the original show, because it's like they're more willing to risk their lives than just turn the ship around.
We actually have
Okay,
differing
so-
opinions on that.
Yeah, I was about to say this shows a divide in the group now because, excuse me, I was of the opinion that tallest red, they dumped him down to the point where he was just purple but with a different voice.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like that.
Yeah.
Like red used to be the more
Well,
competent of the two. Like even in Backseat Drivers, he was more competent.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. But think of it this way: it's been so long now; they have nothing to do. It's like, he's nothing to be competent about, except he's blowing up planets. That's all he's been doing for the past who knows how long. So,
Well, I mean, both of them are like pretty much Irkin children. I can't say man child because they're not men. Or
They are, but red
Not
had a
human.
unique flavor to it. Like
They're
he
not
was more
human.
arrogant. He was more arrogant than purple. Purple was more goofy. Red was more arrogant. Like, oh, I can do no wrong.
one thing I will say is that Steven's purple. I thought like, oh my gosh, he sounds just like the guy in the.
Yes, I wish Steven was here right now.
Like there was one part where I think it was during the trial sequence, and I thought, oh my gosh, it sounds like identical to Steven. I can't believe it.
Let's see if I can find the audio. Hang on.
Invader Zim, you are dumb.
That's another thing that I liked more about yours, Stanley, than the movie is that you actually had the control brains, the actual threat. And in this one, they take orders from the tallest, at least in Zim's imagination.
Well, in Zim's imagination, I was talking earlier about how that doesn't really count, does it?
Yeah, exactly. But I liked how when you had in yours that they were actually the driving force behind everything that happened in Urk. I liked that a lot.
Oh, thank you. I like that idea. I really love that idea too. Like it just felt right. Okay, I'm trying to find where I stored the vocal tracks. Let's see. Well, these are the entire audio tracks. I don't want to do that. Like character. I have them all stored. Trust me on this. I haven't lost any of them, but they're all over the place.
Gur was organizing your files, I see.
Yeah.
If he organized them, he'd launch them into space.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered they had two lines of blind bags. They had the actual action figure blind bags. They had the little plush toy blind bags.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I
They
remember
also had
something. About
keychains.
that. I didn't see it exactly, but I remember something about that.
Yeah, the little action figure ones, the minifigure ones. That was back after the comics came out. So I don't think that wasn't in preparation for the movie.
Okay.
But still, I was super excited to see this when I walked. That's like back in 2015 or 16.
Okay, so that was a little ways back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, so I gotta go in a few minutes, but I do
Oh.
have one more question, like for everyone to kind of answer.
Yes.
And that's,
Okay.
do you think there is a future for Zim content besides the
The comics.
on right now? So they're currently making
You cut
issues,
out.
aren't they? Dang
Yeah,
it!
the comics are still going.
I was gonna
Also,
say-
you cut out.
Okay. Yeah. So, do you guys think there is like a future market, I guess, for Zim content, or do you think maybe after this is where it's really going to start like dwindling again, and then just that was it? That was sort of the the short revival.
You go first, Jacob.
Well, I mean, it's honestly hard to say. I mean, I would honestly think that if they did continue it, if considering recent events, they might actually keep it as a Netflix thing to keep things consistent.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's kind of hard to say at this point. I mean, depending on how well this does for Nickelodeon. I mean, it's really. I mean, the points of like the Hey Arnold and the Rocco movie, like they kind of tied up on some threads. That those are kind of like what they were there for. I mean, this really doesn't have a finality to it, so it's entirely possible that they could, continue this.
Mhm.
So I mean, if Jonah's, I mean, he's not really been open about it, but he says I think he'd be happy to return to make more if he like. No, I mean, as I said, it's hard to say really. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely the comics are definitely probably going to continue because that's where Jonan got his start and where he's a lot more comfortable.
And they're not canon too.
Right, they're just sort of their own thing.
So like they're basically a way to get some stories out of the way. But
right.
I mean,
So
if Jonan feels up to them, like he can reach an agreement with Nickelodeon, I think maybe they'd be up to making more of the show. I mean, Jonan clearly wants to work more in animation because he tried creating a couple more shows that didn't go through. So if they decide to make more Zim, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sweet. Navi, what do you think?
I don't think we're gonna get a revival in the form of a series, just because of what Jonan said when he was talking about the movie, where he only wanted to do like a mini series or like a movie. He didn't want to commit to a full on series because that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, for that reason, is why I think he won't do anything like in the form of a TV series. I mean, the shorts maybe, like he might maybe do something like that, and I'm sure he's going to go with the comics. But that's why I think that they won't do like another series.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about you, Ezra?
I think I'm gonna agree with Navi. I think this is the best we're gonna get for a long stretch of time. I don't want to sound like a downer or anything. I think it's gonna come down to like I know the Jonans, of course, he said himself he's not he doesn't make cartoons, or that's not what he's good at. He's good at making comics and things like that. So I think we're gonna keep getting the comics, and that's fine. I don't personally read the comics at all.
Me neither.
But it's keeping Zim alive at least. So yeah, I think this is. I don't watch Zim all that much anymore. Like I said before, I haven't even seen an episode in years. This was a nice refresher, and this should keep people going for a good. I don't know, because I think they're going to bring it back at some point in time. Bring something back, because I mean, it happens to everything, right? I mean, it's like another 15 years, they're gonna do something else. I don't know.
Well, okay. And DB Emily, did you have something you wanted to say on your thoughts on that?
I guess I'll give my final thoughts about all this.
I just kind of wanted to go clockwise again.
I really hope they don't do a sequel. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want them to do a sequel. I don't really want another movie, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like Invader Zim is a show. It's a TV show. It's meant to be, episodic. And like there's potential for, really big storylines, but I feel like with kind of the restrictions that we have on movies today, especially, dealing with Nickelodeon and stuff, I really don't want a sequel. I don't think they're gonna bring back the series, and if they did, it might be like, like Ezra said, in the future, long from now, and they do like a remake. Comic series is probably going to go on for a while. I can tell, Jonan's passionate about that because there's like 45 issues now. Like, it's going on for a long time. But one thing that I really think Nickelodeon and Netflix need to do is put the series back on Netflix, at least while this is going on,
Yeah.
because you're going to have so many new people watching this movie. Like, they're going to wonder, what is this? You put that series up there, you're going to get views.
Yeah, that's a moneymaker.
They need to put episodes back up there because they had Invader Zim up on Netflix for a long time. They need to put it back up there.
And that's why I propose, like, if they do the show, they could like do it as a Netflix continuation.
Yes, they should put it back up there. But as where I stand for whether or not I want them to continue, I'm okay if they don't. I really am. Invader Zim was something that like kind of followed me throughout middle school and high school, and it was something that really helped me get into art and animation and voiceover and things that like I'm I'm passionate about and looking into, but I'm okay if it doesn't continue. I really am. It's
Well,
something
I
that
think-
in some ways can best be left forgotten. And that's
Yeah.
my final thoughts. So
one thing I think we will get is another Invader Zim convention.
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Because
Yeah.
I think what this new movie is going to do is bring in new fans, and it's going to
Yes.
grow the fan base even more. I think they're going to do another Zim convention sometime in the future.
I'd like to go if they do that. Also, real quick, my thoughts on the whole Zim continuing thing. I'm kind of with you, DB Emily, because I don't know. I'm trepidatious about it getting a continuation, even a Netflix continuation, because I really don't want to see more of Enter the Florpus type stuff. I want to see more of the dark, cynical stuff you saw in like The Wettening, Backseat
too.
Drivers,
Dark Harvest.
Dark Harvest. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see more stuff like that, and like Enter the Florpus feels foreign to that,
Mhm.
and it's very clearly this is the headspace Jonan is in right now. I don't think Enter the Florpus turned out wrong. I think it turned out exactly how Jonan wanted.
Yeah.
That's the
And it's
problem.
not bad. It's good. It's just like not exactly something like I would want to see remade or made a sequel out of, you know.
I don't want a sequel. I don't want a continuation of the show. I don't want the show to get I don't want the show to get more episodes and stuff. I'm just fine with the Enter the Florpus being its last animated hurrah and then continuing on in the comics form.
And you know
that's
what?
kind of I hope for.
Even in the end, we can say that we won because think about how many years Zim fans have been trying to get Nickelodeon to give us something.
Yeah, anything at all.
You know, God bless them.
Yeah.
Like this is great. It's great that like we did make a difference.
Yes, and
We
like
went so far that they decided to make us a movie, and I think that's great.
because the fandom kept the show alive forever in spite of the content. Like it did, and like it will for a while now too.
Yeah.
Because it's so active.
One thing I will say that I'd be totally comfortable with is a really cool anime spin-off type thing, like what they did in the opening. Not exactly in that.
No, not in that style, but
not in
I
that
can see
style.
what you mean.
Yeah, but in a more anime type style. I think it'd be really cool if they actually did more of a drama type thing where it focused on more of the dark show.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Dark, a serious take on Zim, but with still humor thrown in there once in a while. Because
And like continuous episodes where like it's not really like it's almost like the kind of thing you got to watch in order. It's continuous. That would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And not do an original show or the storyline or anything. I think it'd be really cool.
You cut out there for a second. Could you re-say that?
Oh yeah, I think if it didn't have anything to do with the original show or the movie or anything, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I like the fact that Zim does the show. Jonan clearly doesn't care about continuity. Like if characters die, they'll be back some other time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's been fun talking to you guys again.
Yes,
like it's been forever.
Do more of these things.
We should. We could do this like with a whole bunch of other movies. That'd be fun.
Maybe. And I definitely
don't know how many movies you guys watch. I assume you guys are filmmakers. You watch movies.
I watch a fair amount. I don't want to be a filmmaker.
Of course.
Stanley knows I saw the Dora movie. And he knows that I said it wasn't actually that bad.
Oh yeah,
I heard it was okay. Like it's obviously not for like an older demographic, but it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. We're gonna leave it off on the Dora movie, and I'll see you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Adios.
See ya.
Adios. Yes. Swiper, no swiping, etc. Funny you mentioned that because I know that they talked about in the commentary track when they test screened Dark Harvest for Nickelodeon. Dora the Explorer, they test screened a Dora episode right before that. So like they're sitting there in the auditorium where Nickelodeon does its test screenings and stuff with the executives and everything, and they see an episode of Dora, and it's like, okay, they write down their notes and whatever. And then next on the list was Invader Zim, Dark Harvest.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yes.
That would definitely be quite a fun day.
Talk about a tonal shift.
Seriously.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well,
I'd be horrified. I'd be terrified. Creating something at dark and then having an entire line of executives write down notes on it, like after it's already been made. Oh, just
nightmare.
Especially Nickelodeon executives. Yeah.
Very good, Jacob.
Thank you.
Very fitting.
Thank you.
Actually, speaking of Dora the Explorer, there was a joke that Richard Horvitz made about like them recording in the booth,
Oh,
where
really?
they're like, we would go so long after our recording sessions that they'd be like, Dora the Explorer, she's banging on the door, she's like, come on, get out of there. We're like, we need a little bit more time. And someone actually animatic that.
Awesome.
Oh, they did. That's right. Stanley, are we still live?
Yeah, we are. We're still rocking and rolling.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, we're just going. There's no real structure. Did you guys want to keep going, or are we pretty much done, or what do you want to do?
Okay, we keep it going. And also too, I like how Richard would just joke about, or actually say that they'd leave him in the booth while he's like doing Zim stuff, like screaming or whatever. So Jonah would be just like, let's just go for lunch, and they don't tell him that they left for lunch, and they come back and he's still screaming.
oh, by the way, we weren't recording any of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just like the off switch, and then they go away for lunch and come back.
But then gotta feel bad for Richard.
Yeah.
Especially all that screaming.
Lots of screaming. Wait, have you guys been able to hear? You guys haven't been able to hear my audio, have you? Like from my computer?
No.
Good. Okay, because I've been going through voice lines trying to find a good sample from Steven being purple, and a lot of this involves screaming. So I was hoping I wasn't blasting you guys out.
Oh no.
Fetch me the bucket!
Okay, we got right here.
All I can think about is Recap Kid now. Just when you guys mentioned screaming.
Yeah, I hate Recap Kids so much. Glad that person was not there.
Yeah.
They had Recap Dib instead.
Recap Dib, yes. Awesome. And recap Tallis for no reason.
Yes.
Wow, this is starting to disturb me. I can't. There's like a huge chunk of lines that are missing
Ooh.
from Steven. And I know I downloaded them all because I distinctly remember downloading them, then copying and pasting them into the Invader Zim folder. This is worrisome.
Let's hope we don't have an on-screen panic attack.
You might.
Okay, at least warn us first.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check my computer too, Stanley, because I know I had stuff on mine. Some of the stuff.
Oh, good. Thank
that
you.
you sent me.
But like a lot of this is. Oh wait, yeah. Well, a lot of this. I'm looking for Steven.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the only way I'd have mine is if I found the old emails I sent you.
I know, right? I might have to resort to that. I hope Gmail doesn't delete stuff too quickly.
Nah, they haven't in my experience.
Okay, hang on a second, guys. I gotta check something real quick.
I mean, because I recorded my lines on a different computer.
Yeah, I recorded some of my lines on a Windows XP computer. Because mine was in the shop, and then Stanley's just like, hey, we need you to record lines for the questioning. And I'm like, oh, all right.
All right, sorry, I just had to take care of that real quick. Okay, let me go to Google Drive. Maybe no, only concept art stuff is on Google Drive. Okay, so it's not there. Okay, panic time. Okay, let me just go to my email. Oh wait, why am I? Let me check my downloads folder real quick. Maybe I should check that first before I freak out. No, that's just okay, this is all outdated. Yeah.
Oh, I still have one where he's purple and that one scene that you sent me, like scene 4 I did. It's like 20 seconds of purple. Do you want me to send that to you?
Maybe. Give me a second. I'm gonna just type in his name and filter it by stuff that's attached with it. Stuff.
There's not much screaming. It's like a little bit at the beginning.
I remember having to record the screams for Scooge.
I am so sorry.
I was like, I mean, screaming is scream. I mean, I don't really scream. I don't really scream in my normal voice, let alone someone else's.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and mass download every audio he's ever sent me.
Yeah, screaming as Scooge was very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
As I was talking about earlier, I even reused it for the project that I'm working on for Ezra.
Nice.
Because remember, as I'm basically doing Scooge's voice for your project.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right.
Yeah.
So Stanley and I were actually talking about that earlier. Was like, so we decided to basically we're using one of my screens from AZTDM for your project, because like,
are we? I didn't realize that.
yeah, like is the scene where he's like sliding where Magnet's sliding down Malicious.
Oh, okay.
It's like you wanted me to scream, but like I think the location I was at, they didn't want me screaming too loudly, and I didn't feel comfortable screaming because I was in an apartment or something.
That's
Right.
fun. Awesome. Stanley, try going back to the questioning, because I know there's some good stuff in the questioning.
Wait, hang on. Someone's calling my name. Hang on.
So yeah, I guess we can talk about that.
Okay, sorry. The questioning. The questioning. No, not related to. Where did I put the questioning? Hang on.
It's on YouTube.
No. I mean like as far as files and folders go.
I mean,
I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about that. I'm really wanting to make sure I've not lost audio.
Oh.
That's what I'm concerned about that. Because I actually copied and pasted audio. You know, I can worry about this. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm not going to deal with it on stream. Okay, let me see. I did download some Tallest Purple stuff. So let's just see how I can share my audio. Is there a way to do that? Oh, here we go. I can switch it to stereo mix, and I'm about to. So, behold, we are about to listen to Steven doing Purple.
Okay, my turn. I want to be Zim. Doody-doo, I'm Zim. I think I'm an invader, but I really don't do anything productive.
Were you guys hearing any of that?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, no, I'll keep it playing. I wanted to make sure you were actually hearing it first.
Oh, it looks like I'm getting a call from my awesome, wonderful, and superior leaders. Why, hello, my tallest. What a pleasant surprise. What do you mean I'm not an invader?
No, Steven is one of the only. It's like the only person I've ever heard that can actually get up in that high range. I think. Wow, that's really amazing. How. Like,
yeah, explain yourselves.
He did do pretty good.
Now have him executed.
That was very weirdly timed.
Nerve of some people.
Yeah.
It's like he did pretty good. Now have him executed.
Nothing like that.
Okay, I'm back. All right.
okay.
That was Steven doing Purple. He's not here, but he's with us in spirit.
Yay.
That was one of the lines. There's a lot of messages we sent back and forth. I might have to just download a lot of these. Oh boy, I'll worry about them. I'll have a panic attack in my spare time. It's cool.
Uh-oh.
Not good.
I'm sure they're there. I mean, what could have happened to him?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
It's probably just in another folder or something.
and did he
Yeah.
keep the spares? Did he keep the ones he recorded?
I don't know. He might have deleted them, but the thing is, Gmail has them all saved. I just found them on all my emails.
So there's that.
It's safe.
Okay, that's good.
Just I wish I knew because whatever.
Because they're at least on my old computer or on one of my hard drives. I don't know where they are, but I know I sent them to you and the ones you wanted to have. So there's that.
Yeah, no, I just need to do it. I just need to go through this, reorganize, and find out what I have and download what I don't. Because apparently my emails are still there, which is great. I'm glad for that. All right, let's not worry about that, guys. Let's just have fun.
I really want some chow mein right now.
Okay, and also I'm getting
Not the sequel to Stanley Feeds on Noodles. Ezra feeds on noodles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Stanley eats spaghetti. I eat chow mein. What are you guys gonna eat?
I call it some fettuccine.
I'll have lasagna.
There we go.
Yay!
Keep it in the noodle family.
And I'll assign
Yes.
Daphne macaroni
Or
and
macaroni
cheese.
macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
I've been eating a lot of that recently, actually. I think I ran out though.
Jacob, someone asked you where you got your hat.
Okay, well, I got it from right over there.
You look really
Awesome.
good in it. It fits really well.
To if I'm being honest, I dressed up as like a phantom gentleman thief a couple years ago for Halloween, and this is the hat I wore for that.
No, the mustache really helps too.
Very deep story.
Yes, I got it from over there.
Yes. All right. Very good. Well, I feel
Stanley,
like,
why don't you show us your Zim collection?
there it is. That's literally it.
Yeah, this isn't a real hat. This is just a costume hat.
This is the sum total of my Zim collection. It's just this, this,
I have
and this.
my collection is essentially just this shirt and another shirt or something along those lines.
I guess we
don't even have a Zim shirt.
Yeah,
What is that?
It's a box. This.
Oh
came.
yeah.
And
That's
then
right.
there's one more thing
There's like a
down
girl
here.
plushie. Is that a girl plushie?
Where?
I don't know. Like that blue and white thing.
Looks like a turtle.
This.
Yeah, it looks like a turtle.
This is a turtle. I actually don't know.
It's
It's not even mine. It was like one of my siblings, and it just wound up here somehow.
Actually, I have a
I mean,
I have a
I don't.
backpack.
I mean, as I told you earlier, I have actual turtles.
Yes. This is the first toy I ever had, so it was kind of neat. It's like they gave it to me, the hospital gave it to my mom when she had me, so it was kind of cool. But
One of my first toys was a bear too.
Cool. I think most people's probably was.
Do you still have all the DVDs in that box set?
Yeah, they're all here. But I don't like the DVDs. Whoever manufactured them needs to be taken to task because they're so crappy in quality that they chip and scratch whenever you take them out or put them in. Like they chip. They're chipping.
What about the Gurr statue that came with it? Do you still have that?
Somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, here. Okay, yeah. I guess this would count too. I just counted as part of that, but got two of them. One of them came without its antenna because I bought it from eBay, but.
Oh, wait. Was there a variant?
You said You said it looked cute. There. I'm not showing it again.
Was there a blue and red one that came with it, or was it just one or the other? Because I know.
They both came with it.
Really?
They both came with it. Well, I bought it from eBay. Someone else had it.
Is that one missing an eye?
Yes.
I'm sure he likes it better that way. Don't you, Stanley?
I really don't care.
Actually, I have.
That means it's in pain though. To sing it out.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Actually, I have.
What you got?
This is the little blind bag thing they had some years back. Is a little glow in the dark.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then I have a little plush one, little plush blind bag, but that's over in storage, along with my Gurr backpack.
Sweet.
That's about all the Zimmer stuff I have, though. I don't have any of the
Cool.
shirts. They had some pretty cool shirts, but I never got any of them.
What I want, one more. The only Zim piece of merch I want, and it's not even a real piece of Zim merch, but I want a coffee cup. I want to get a coffee cup with the Irken logo on it sometime. That'd be cool.
You could probably custom make that.
Yeah,
I think I can. I really know I can for sure. That's such a simple thing to do.
I mean, you could probably just paint one.
Yeah.
Get a ceramic cup and then get some ceramic paint and just do the logo on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I wish they'd bring back the Zim figures. They had the Palisades ones, but that company is no longer in existence, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. They did a
That
good
sucks.
job of the ones that I've seen, though.
Yeah,
Except they were kind of fragile, so
they were
break
kind of
easy.
fragile. Yeah, they were. Yeah, but that's the thing with the Zim characters is they have such small necks and things. It's you can't really
Small
do it.
necks, big heads.
Yes. Well, I feel like the live stream might be losing a little bit of steam. So, did you guys? No, I mean, you can always feel it. You know, you feel when it's like on a wind down.
I refuse to accept it, Stanley.
Oh no. What did you guys want to talk about? We kind of exhausted our thoughts on Into the Florpus. Like, I mean,
We've
here.
got to
Said you were gonna talk
continue
about
this
Invaders
live
from the
stream
Doom
for the
movie.
next 15 years.
Okay, before we move on to IZTDM, if you want, we need to quickly, from Jacob, then Navi, then Ezra, then me, give it a number out of 10.
Okay.
Go.
Cool.
7.5.
Okay, Navi.
8 out of 10.
Ezra.
I give this
Too slow.
7 Florpuses out of 10.
7
I'll bump mine to an 8 too.
5 out of 10.
All right.
Okay, cool.
And I said I bumped mine up to an 8 as well.
Cool. I don't want a lynch mob after me, but okay. That's sweet. I didn't think it was bad. Okay. Was that me?
That was me.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, sweet. Now we can move on to other things. You guys said you might want to talk. Did you want to talk about IZTDM?
Sure.
Well,
Okay. Chat, people in the chat. Are you okay with talking about IZT? Hey, who else here? Give us a shout in the chat if you're still here. If you have a YouTube account, like say hi and let us know you're still with us. I'll start.
People watching now.
I'll start by saying hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Still here, okay? Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. We're having an army here.
Yes.
Well, on my tallest
Oh,
Nazo,
poor people.
I think it's Nazo or Nazo says, he says, hey, I have one. How about
Oh.
the fact that the beginning of Enter the Florpus had an anime opening? Can we imagine it's an anime? Yeah, we talked about that.
We did.
Yeah, I think
Funny
it'd
you
be really
mentioned
cool
that.
as an anime.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if it was done right. Not the generic anime, but just more of a very Jonan Vasquez-ish anime.
You know, there are people online who have taken pieces from Star Wars and done entirely in an anime style. Like, it's really beautiful.
I saw that.
I
That was
think
awesome.
if someone did like a 2-minute Invader Zim short in an anime style, that'd be amazing.
I love that.
I want to make a Star Wars fan film for their official contests.
Okay, so that'd be cool. We got clearly a group of people. Okay, so next question for the chat. Are you guys cool with switching the subject to IZTDM, or do you want to stick with Enter the Florpus? Because I think we can probably milk Enter the Florpus till it's dry, but if you want to switch to IZTDM, we can do that.
It's starting to become a desert over here.
I think we pretty much said everything that was worth saying. I could go through my list of nitpicks, but that's not fun because it's nitpicks. So
No. Show us all the animation errors. I like the one that I pointed out that you didn't even see. the antennae.
yeah, right.
You're just like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's right here. It looked like they erased part of Sim's antennae and they didn't even like put it back or something. I didn't notice they did it. It's the scene when all the robots dogpile on Dib and Zim's laughing. You can see like that's the field of view is kind of closing off. That's the part where his antennae, part of it's missing.
Yes. Actually, yeah, let me pull that up real quick while we're still... I think people are okay with IZTDM, but before we switch subjects...
Almighty Nazo says that can we talk about how people keep saying Tech and Dave would be a good couple?
You know, there are no good couples in Invader Zims.
It's not a romance.
Actually, I thought of one.
What?
Professor Membrane and his ego.
That's Zim and his ego. Get it right.
Also,
Zim and Zim.
How about Gur and Gaz? That's a.
If it's one-sided, as long as it's one-sided, that's
exactly.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I'm okay. For the longest time, I thought Gur actually had a crush on Gaz, and I thought that's funny because it's really irritating for Gaz.
Gur and a taco.
Gur.
Yes.
Best couple ever.
Gur and tacos.
But no.
Gur eats the taco and then
Here's the best one. How about Dib in his chair?
They fused.
The OTP.
Okay, I'm going to say
than man now.
Urkins. I feel like Urkins just don't feel romance at all. like normal non-defective Urkins, I feel like they can't actually feel a romantic attraction to anything.
Okay, what about red and purple? That's something that the questioning touched on.
They don't like it.
Shipping red and purple,
They don't. Yeah,
stuffing them in a little box, and
Yeah, you're
yeah. I'm surprised they even like each other.
they tolerate each other. I think they tolerate each other vaguely. I always thought it'd be funny if they like secretly were each trying to send assassins for the other so they could be the only tallest, but like it always fails and the other never catches on.
Yeah, it's like that wouldn't surprise me actually.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
I don't think Urkins can feel love at all, and there's not really anything substantial. That's just sort of circumstantially. I get that vibe from them. Like they're genetically engineered. They're created in test tubes. And it feels like when they're clones, they create any propensity towards romance of any kind. Because
Zim did proclaim love. The Smeet Zim did proclaim love to the cold, unfeeling robotic arm.
That's not romance, though.
I know, but it's love.
No, I mean romance. Like that's just not.
I know. I'm not being serious.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I just know the fandom likes to cling on to things.
I think
Because remember, it's like I love you, cold, unfeeling robot arm.
I think that was more
ahead,
affection. That wasn't exactly.
I know.
Yeah, I think.
No, what were you saying, Jake? No. What were you saying, Jake? I'm sorry.
No, I was like saying because remember, he's like, I love you, cold, unfeeling robot arm.
Yeah. Yes. Evidence that Zim can feel love. Everyone should open up the floodgate of shipping right now. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't being serious. I was just saying like, baby Zim was capable of love. They probably just like programmed it out of him.
And now he's a sociopath.
Yes. Well, he's probably a sociopath from the very beginning.
True. That seems to be a default characteristic for Urkins. Like, even Scooge didn't seem to have really much of a problem with wiping out the slaughtering rat people.
Well, I mean, I like how he committed his first like offense against the Urkin Empire like what the day he was born.
Zim's a walking disaster.
Yeah, it's like
chicken and rice is the best shipping in Invader Zim. No.
Yes.
Chicken and rice.
Yeah, it's as good as chicken and rice.
Why do I feel like
I just stopped doing that?
Why do I feel like Gur was trying to do like a heavy metal scream, like they're like the old school '80s heavy metal, like yeah!
It's like we all know it's not actual metal if we can actually understand what they're saying.
Don't get me started.
Is it TDM now?
Yeah, let's do it. What did you guys want to talk about?
I don't know.
Let's talk about IZTDM.
Good talk.
Our thoughts, our processes, or like what we remember from it, I guess.
I'll tell you what. If I grab some water and come back, we can pull up the script and just start going through it if you feel like it.
Ooh. Cool.
Or if you're not up for it, just let me know though.
I'll be fine to get through as much as what I can. I just got to get down to the Chinese place before 9.
Oh, okay.
Got to get that chow mein.
How about we take a little bit? Okay, that should be okay. Got it. That should be a separate live stream. So why don't we close this one, and then we'll reconvene here after everyone's ready in a like half hour or whatever, and then after a bit we'll just go through the script, and that'll be its own live stream.
Yeah, we should decide who reads for who.
Yeah, we'll do it as we go, and stuff like that.
I know how this is already going to play out. I'm going to be all the female characters.
Yes. We can change it up if you want. It's not like it's very serious. Although
you'll be the newsman guy.
Yeah. Right.
Could we not wait half an hour because it's already past 7 here and I gotta get out of that Chinese place.
That's what I'm saying. Like we'll cut the live stream off, give you a chance to get Chinese, and then after that we'll do the reading. If that works out.
Yeah, I haven't placed my order yet.
Okay, well if it takes longer, it takes longer. But I don't like. We can. What time is it for you guys?
It's 7:17.
Okay, it's 6:17 for me. Yeah, 1 hour off. Yours is 8:17 Navi. So, okay.
You guys want to give it an hour?
An hour, right. If you're okay with that. Is everyone okay with an hour? And then after that, we come back, start reading the script, and just see when we decide to call it quits.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we have some behavior.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right. Well, you heard it here, audience. We will be back in a little bit. We are. Oh wait. What? What about Irk and Defectives? Like you're thinking of Smoots. We'll talk about that with IZTDM. Okay. We'll reconvene here in a bit. Thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned because here in about an hour we will come back and start reading the IZTDM script and see how far we get. Might only get one scene far before we call it quits. Who knows? All right. So see you in a bit, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And we are no longer.